LBC 97.3. Call 0845 6060 973.
Come on,
Text
Timmy.
84850. Tweet at LBC 973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
Let's go.
Yeah, I was really upset about them closing the roof. I was really disappointed about that. I thought the light was quite good, but I'm really upset at the time. I know it sounds the same when I'm upset when I'm excited, but this is me really upset. But I want to thank all the fans, apart from the English. I really hate the English.
0845 6060 973. He baffles me. I have no idea what he's saying. That was an actual recording made some moments ago. Did he win?
He did.
Right. By how much? Lots?
By a bit.
By this much?
Yeah, just about that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tennis. Isn't it great?
Boring!
Here is a call in... What can this be about? I've only just started. Romford. A very keen caller called David.
Hello, Nick.
David.
Hi. You said what baffles people.
Yes.
I'll tell you what baffles me is that nobody in authority will respond to anything these days.
What do you mean by that?
Make a complaint to the police, they'll tell you that he's not the sort of, they don't have any jurisdiction over it. You complain to the MP, they say, it's not something we can do. Write to the local paper, they say, it's not the sort of story you want to print. Phone the councillor, they say, no, sorry, we don't want to look into that. All the time, this is.
Those in authority will say, nothing to do with us, it was like that when we got here, or the problem doesn't actually exist apart from in your mind.
It's like professional shirking.
Yeah.
And nobody calls them to account, and it baffles the hell out of me. How do they get away with it on a salary? If I did it in my job, I would be out the door.
What do you do, David?
Well, I mean, I'm unemployed at the moment, but if I am usually a teacher.
Right.
If I said to the people who were struggling, I don't bother with the problems.
Yeah.
Don't put your hand down and don't bother.
Then you'd be even more out of work than you are at the moment.
That's right.
Yeah. OK, excellent start. Well done, David. 0845 6060 973. Things that baffle you. Google's privacy rules are illegal and leave internet users in the dark about how their personal details will be used, Britain's data protection watchdog said. The online search giant's latest guidelines, published last year, are baffling and must be overhauled, the Information Commissioner's Office ruled. The online search giant's latest guidelines, published last year, are baffling and must be overhauled. The Information Commissioner's Office has just ruled. An Information Commissioner that is so fast and up-to-date, it's ruling on things that happened a year ago, which in tech terms is the Pliocene era. Oh, please, can you try and catch up? The company will face formal enforcement, such as a fine of up to £500,000 or a court order if it does not change these privacy rules by September the 20th. A £500,000 fine to Google. That will be as punishing as a mosquito bite on a rhinoceros bottom. And if that doesn't work, they'll be rebuked. And if that doesn't work, they'll be cautioned. And if that doesn't work, they'll be sanctioned.
Oh, no.
The Information Commissioner's Office said Google's updated privacy policy does not provide sufficient information to enable UK users of Google services to understand how their data will be used across all of the company's products. Are they saying we're stupid? I tried to understand. Now, I'm not an American citizen, and so I have to prove that I'm not an American citizen to America, otherwise they'll keep my money that I earn here. Try and understand that if you can. Every now and again, about once a year and a bit, I self-publish a book on a Kindle, Amazon. And apparently, in order to get my money paid to me for money that I earn here, I have to persuade the American government that I am not an American citizen. And so I have to fill out a form. The most baffling thing I have ever read in my life is this form that is supposed to be... And it comes with instructions, and even they are impossible to understand. That's what baffles. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to bring in some, unless it would mean that I'm in breach of copyright rules, and I'm saying out loud something that the American government has written down, which would make me forfeit my life. Under the present administration, they'd send over a drone.
Absolutely.
That's the most baffling thing that I have read up to this point, the American tax code. It's impossible to understand. Probably deliberately so. But anyway, this Google thing. Last year, Google sought to make its privacy policies across its various internet businesses, including YouTube, and Gmail, more simple. Separate documents on how it would use data collected from each of its websites were condensed into a single file, unimaginably complicated file. But the ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office, said the details were watered down and ordinary people... What does that mean? Is that an insult? Are you an ordinary person, Amanda?
No, I'm not.
I would say
I'm
that you are.
extraordinary.
Well, it's a matter for debate. You're unusual. Shall we leave it at that? You're unique. The ICO said details were watered down and ordinary people would have no idea after reading the file how their personal details, such as email addresses or website viewing history, would be used by Google. The Data Protection Act, which the ICO says is breached by Google's current policy, seeks to safeguard the personal information of Internet users. So the Information Commissioner's Office said that personal information of Internet users is not to be mined and stored for use for illegal and nefarious ends. That's for the government to do.
What?
That's exactly what they're doing. Who's going to find them? This act that they're talking about rules that personal information gathered must be stored securely, must not be kept for longer than is necessary, and must not be transferred to an organisation in another country. Just like Edward Snowden. He must not be gathered, stored securely, must not be kept for longer than necessary, and must not be transferred to an organisation in another country. Hey, you know who's going to take Edward Snowden? Maybe Iceland. We have something else to thank them for, apart from Bajork and the Banstead. Hello, Charlotte.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there. Yeah.
Hello there.
Yes. Sorry. I've been watching the Murray match, and I know you're not a fan of the tennis.
No.
But I've something that's annoyed and really annoyed me and upset me. Murray was. They were, tennis.
Is it because he continually picks his pants out of his parts?
No.
Is it that?
No. Well, the player he was obviously playing was in the lead, and Murray then got the crowd behind him, and they were screaming.
By doing what?
Well, getting them up into a frenzy.
But how did he do that? I mean,
Well,
is it a decision? Huh? Is it a decision that the crowd made, or was he waving his hands like footballers sometimes do to the supporting, not listening to a word I'm saying?
Sorry.
Hello there.
He was trying to, get them up to support him.
But how?
Well, I don't know, with his hands.
Right, well, okay, that's what I'm
shouting.
asking. Was he motioning to the crowd to support him more? Okay, well, that is inexcusable.
Yeah. And they all started screeching and shouting and
Come on,
everything.
Timmy! Yeah.
Favour. And it completely put the other player off.
Right.
And I thought, what a sport.
Oh, what a bad sport.
Yeah, but sport.
The sport's already been
Murray.
spoiled. The sport has been spoiled a long time ago when it got really, really interesting.
Boring!
Dull, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth they go.
The crowd completely put the other player off.
Yeah.
And it's not fair, is it? I mean,
You sound really upset about this.
I am, because
It's
he was
not
in the lead.
good sportsmanship. Is that what you're trying to say? Right.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's not good sportsmanship.
Well, there's nothing
And I
about
noticed-
that grumpy dour man that I like. He just seems so devoid of personality and interest. It's just this is the pinnacle of British sporting excellence. Let's hope not.
Yeah, and I've noticed he does that all the time when he plays.
Really?
He
Well,
gets the crowd in to
see, that's the
support
benefit of
him.
not watching. Something that I've missed.
No, but I feel so sorry for the other player.
Oh, well, it's only money. I mean, sport.
Well, it's not very good.
No, it isn't. Well, well, add it to the things that I don't like about him. How does that sound, Charlotte?
Yeah.
Yeah. OK. Cheers, my dear. 0845 6060 973. Things that baffle you. Well, I find that baffling. Tennis used to be the sport of gentle persons. And waving the crowd to support you and against the other guy. Well, that doesn't seem like cricket. 0845 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3.
This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
I'm listening, dear. You can talk to me.
So Google's privacy rules are illegal and leave internet users baffled about how their personal details will be used. What baffles you? Hemel Hempstead. Hello, Chris.
Good evening, Nick.
Chris.
What baffles me is mobile phones. Now, they call them a mobile phone, but the phones don't seem to be working very well.
Aren't they?
No, they seem to be getting worse and worse. I mean, you listen to LBC all the time, and it's getting absolutely dreadful. You just get a nice conversation going, and then, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, it'll get perfected one of these decades. Don't you worry about that, Chris. Are you speaking to me on a mobile phone right now?
No.
Right. See, that's why I can hear you clearly.
Yes, and the other thing that baffles me is Murray Scottish or British tonight?
Well, it depends on whether he's won or not.
Well, he won tonight.
Well, then he's British.
No, he's Scottish when he wins.
Only in Scotland.
And then he's British when he loses.
Yeah, in Scotland. In Britain, in the rest of Britain, he's British when he wins, and he's Scottish when he loses.
Oh, right. It's all very confusing.
And he's glum all the time. I mean, smart once in a while, mate. You're earning millions. He's earning millions playing a game. He's actually earning millions playing the wrong game. The only sport that you should... have you done, Chris?
Yes. Right. Why not?
Okay, good work. Thanks very much. You may replace the receiver. 0845 6060 973. He's actually playing the wrong game. The only game that anybody with like an ounce of sense would want to play professionally is golf, and I'm right about that. And the reason is because you don't have to be fit, and you're almost no part of you is in danger of being broken. Because if you play football or rugby, then you will be forming an orderly queue with thousands of other footballists and rugbyites outside the offices of physiotherapists and knee surgeons. Because that's how they make all their money, off you people, footballers and rugby players. If you're, what else is there? If you're a snooker, see, it's not really a sport, but they pretend it is. If you're a snooker player, then you spend your entire life in some dank basement, where upstairs, outside, youths are enjoying and courting and skipping and dancing and laughing, and you're meanwhile under fluorescent lights in some awful basement for hours and hours and hours. That seems like an insane thing to want to do. What else is there? Rugby, football, snooker. Is that it? Only golf would allow you to keep on playing when if you are in possession of a beer gut or bad knees. I mean, you can even take a cart from one hole to the next. That's what I'd like to be if I wasn't doing this, being a professional golfer. Camden, and you're outside in beautiful scenery, which has been pre-cut to your convenience. Camden, hello, Lawrence.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Well, actually, you baffle me.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Is this complaint?
Actually, it baffles me why. It baffles me that I tune in to listen to you at the weekend.
Yeah. Well,
it's one of those things. It's a strange thing. I know it's funny because you're quite moody. You're quite, you never quite know what you're going to get. But tonight you're not such a grumpy nose. And the other thing,
when was I grumpy last?
I know you've been very grumpy in the past, and that's why. Because sometimes I think maybe I'm masochistic, like to get abused. That's why, like, I call you up or I listen to you because sometimes you're a moody man. You're a moody person.
That's completely untrue. I am...
no, it's... anyway, listen, I
I'm
don't have
a
anything
picture of
against
happiness
mental
at
health
all
issues.
times.
I don't have anything against mental health issues. I've got a few myself, right? The other thing that baffles me is, like, how does a man who drives a snowplow, how does he get to his work in the morning?
Yeah, excellent question.
No, honestly, that kind of stuff will keep me up.
Awake and chewing the edge of the table for hours on end. Yeah.
No, honestly, but how does that happen?
Chewing the straps that are confining you to your cot for hours on end, it will keep you, yeah.
No, but you talk about a game, and you're criticizing the man for, like, earning millions playing a game. What do you do? I mean, your thing is just one big... It's like
I talk.
No,
the only thing the only thing that would involve less work than doing a talk show is actually doing nothing at all. Is sleeping for a living.
I never listened to talk radio up until last year, and actually this is the thing I want to say. This really does baffle me. I lived in Madrid for 13 years, and I've just been back in London now for the last year and a half. I lived there for 13 years, and coming back here, I see, like, all the Spaniards coming over, and they walk into the country. They go from the airport to the first job center, sign on, get money. Then they go home and complain about the fact that you only get £75 a week in London. I tell you what, after 13 years of working in Spain, I got nothing. In fact, I was asked to leave. I mean, it's like...
He was asked to leave.
Yeah, and when I left, I said, well, I must be able to cash something in after 30. He said, you owe us money. Yeah. I mean, that baffles me.
Did they not even give you a voucher for some tapas?
Tapas? Listen, they didn't even give me, like, they wouldn't give me a light when I left. I mean, it was just absolutely, that is baffles me. But,
well,
like, today...
they gave you an airfare to leave. They wanted you out that bad.
No, but honestly, it's weird. I mean, I'm in this country, and I'm turning 40 next week, and I'm in this headspace now where I'm thinking, it's strange, and I'm listening to talk radio. I've never done this in my life, and I'm listening to, like, a grumpy nose who basically is abusive. I mean, I think you're quite an abusive... I mean, there was a couple of callers back where I thought you were quite... But I think it's a game.
Abusive? You ain't heard nothing yet, Lawrence. Stick around, I'll abuse you. Thanks a lot, mate. That was an indication, by the way. The previous caller was talking about mobile phones. I could barely understand half of what that bloke was saying, and the other half I didn't want to hear. But apart from that, it was an excellent call. Thanks a lot, mate. Did you hear that? Halfway through that call, he called me mentally unstable.
He did, didn't he? Yeah, I was amazed that you actually let him continue talking, actually. Which just proves just how mentally stable you
exactly,
really are.
Is the correct answer. Yes. Here is Liverpool. Hello, Linda.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Oh, hello.
How are you?
I'm all right, thanks.
Oh, it's a pleasure to speak to you, as
Well,
usual.
it must be, yeah.
I thought I'd keep you informed in the housing situation in Liverpool.
Some moments
today. We've had great news today on the housing situation.
In anything I'm saying. Yes?
Right. Well, are you interested? Vaguely.
I'll pretend to be interested for the purpose of this call, Linda.
Be vaguely interested, because I think this will interest you. Now, the council has decided they can sell 20,000 houses for £1. And at the same time, the only prime park we've got in Liverpool, they're selling off to property developers.
A park?
Our best park in Liverpool.
What's it called?
It's called Sefton Park.
Can you get all the details that we have on the World Wide Wait on Sefton Park up in front of me?
It's a beautiful... I'm told it's the biggest park in Europe, actually.
Rubbish.
Well, maybe not, but it's beautiful. If you ever come to Liverpool... Anyway, point being, they're selling the crap houses off for £1, and they're selling our prime park to property developers for £2-3 million for a little patch of it. Anyway, that aside, I wanted to talk about Happy Murray.
Wow, that's a lovely-looking park.
It's a beautiful park,
It's
Nick.
a 235-acre park. It's Grade 2-star listed historic park in the Sefton Park district of Liverpool. It looks beautiful.
Nick,
Who?
Nick, it is beautiful.
They're not going to build houses on
our
it.
Golden Mayor, that, by the way, we didn't get a vote whether we wanted him or not,
Who?
has decided to sell a quarter of it off to property developers.
But it's
now,
a Grade 2 listed park. How can they do that?
Well, our mayor has gone through all the legal wrangles and won his case after 6 times in the court,
Right.
despite great protests from the people, the residents, including myself, who actually don't live around the immediate area but visit it frequently. And he's got his way now, and he's selling off a quarter of it for property developers. Now, you tell me, Nick, do you think those houses that are going to be built on that park are going to be social housing?
I don't know. Sefton Park's historic Meadowlands is set to be sold on the recommendation of Mayor Joe Anderson as part of a £10 million sale by the City Council.
Oh, yes.
Not remotely interested in anything I'm saying. The Meadowlands, close to Aigburth Vale...
Egbert, Nick.
Huh?
It's pronounced Egbert Vale.
What, the I and the A and the I is silent?
No,
and replaced by an
E.
E?
It's
What kind of a mangling of the English language have you got up there, Linda? Seriously, Aigburth Vale is Egbert.
No, it's pronounced in here, Egbert. A-I-G.
A-I-G.
U-R-T-H.
D-R-U-T. Egbert. No, but thanks for playing. A report of the Council Cabinet on Friday says the land will help the Mayor's mission to provide high-banded executive homes in the city. No! Oh, my... They're going to build executive flatlets with clacky laminate flooring and no cupboards.
Exactly, on a prime piece of land. Meanwhile, Nick,
Yes.
the desolate land on the Brown Belt area is being sold off for £1 per house. Now,
well, who wants to live in a desolate area? I'd rather have an executive flatlet in a beautiful Grade 2 listed park.
Well, providing you've got the money, Nick. So there's going to... Anyway, I think he must be looking at Tony Blair and his portfolio of houses.
Yeah. In the 1970s, a housing co-op had its sights on the Meadowlands, surrounded by mature yew trees, to replace terrace homes in Dingle. There's no such place, Dingle. They're making this stuff up. It was one of the first campaigns to be fought by the then newly elected Liberal councillor Mike Storey. In the 1990s, another bid was made. In 98, the incidental open space spans 2.62 hectares and is not classified by English Heritage as part of Sefton Park. Oh, wait a minute. It's not part of the park.
Oh, it is. It is. It is part of the park.
Right.
It is part of the park.
If you say so.
I know it like the back of my hand. Right. So do the people that have been fighting to stop it getting sold off for executive housing for 2 years, Nick. Anyway,
I'm baffled. I am baffled. I'm baffled at the continued preponderance of charmless, artless blocks of flats. I mean, we've got so many, Linda, that you can't see the Thames. There's no part of the Thames that you can see anymore for these hideous blocks of flats, and they're all the same. So if we've got them around every corner, Linda, then Liverpool can share our suffering too.
No, actually, Nick, we've got that same preponderance round the Mersey.
You have a preponderance too?
Yes, they built the same flats round the Mersey and blocked off the river. But this park is set back from that. It's not near the river.
Right. Well, speaking as a Londoner, I don't care. But thanks for alerting us to that shocking revelation.
Anyway,
I'm baffled.
Before you hang up on me.
Go on. It'll have to be quick.
Well, it will be quick.
10 seconds.
Because I know you don't like the Liverpool accent. Can I say how upset I am? Can I say how upset I am that Murray has won that semi-final? If ever there was somebody that didn't deserve to win that semi-final, it was Murray.
Right.
Bring back the characters in tennis, and he'll never be one. Although his mother, I don't know if you know about his mother.
It's his mother? That's all I know.
His mother.
Oh, so fantastic. Or have I got that
So
wrong?
fantastic.
Yeah.
middle-class people with middle-class means. He's got no real talent through sheer hard work. I suspect his mother has him in a corner of a night whipping him.
Right. OK, well, that's an interesting thought to end on, Linda, and end we must. I think that we should have ended maybe 2 minutes ago, maybe 6. Let's take it 10 minutes ago we should have ended that call. It's about 3 hours too long, that call. What do you say, Amanda? 0845 6060 973. It's LBC 97.3. This is Nick Abbott. The time 10:30. The news headline.
LBC 973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
Everything is going extremely well.
You bet your life it is. Apart from being accused of being mentally unstable and, what was that? What was the other one?
You were mentally unstable,
yeah. And some lady,
really miserable.
Some lady from the north is going to put a gangster hit on me for being disrespectful. Apart from that, everything's going swimmingly.
Yeah, it's going well, isn't it?
Yeah. I am baffled by, in the news, they said that Zora said that the new London bus, which is called, which people do insist on calling the Boris bus, which Boris, of course, delights in because it gets his name in the papers on a continuous basis. His name is always on people's lips when they talk about things that are positive. Boris bikes, Boris bus, Boris. What was the other thing? Boris Island, Boris, anything that begins with a B. I know Ireland doesn't begin with a B, but they couldn't think of anything. But I am baffled by the genius that designed the new London Routemaster bus, Thomas Heatherwick, who is an actual design genius. He's the fellow that came up with the, among many brilliant designs, the cauldron in the Olympic Games, you know, the thing with the petals that raised up. Brilliant. But I am baffled that somebody that bright, that smart, the designer of the new London bus, not putting windows on the bus that open. I'm baffled that anybody that smart would put his complete faith in the reliability of air conditioning. That doesn't make any sense to me. Let us do it ourselves. Here's a call in. I'm also baffled, more than just a little bit, but not surprised. I'm not shocked, I'm just disappointed that we are about to hand, because nobody appears to be able to do anything about it, despite their muted protestations, we're about to hand our MPs another 10 grand a year, or 20 grand a year, or whatever number they pull out of the air. Are we stunned yet? I don't like to say I told you so, but I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. Ever since the expenses thing started, I was telling you all along that it won't end up in them earning less. It will end up with them earning more, as a direct result. They just waited this long because they thought that they couldn't get away with it before now. And now they're saying that we must get another 10 grand a year. Are they hallucinating? I'll come to that in just a minute. That's what baffles me. What baffles you? 0845 6060 973. Here's a call in Chiswick. Hello, Milan.
Good evening, Nick.
Milan.
Plenty of things baffle me. Well, one of the 4 things I think are on top of my head. Hopefully you'll agree with me on each. Firstly, when people don't wash their hands and they go to the toilet, it's like, I get a shiver down my spine. Especially when I have to, like, you know, I'm about to get out using the door, and the guy in front of me opens the door. He hasn't washed his hands, so I have to use the same door handle.
But you know what? You know what? The thing in a toilet that never gets cleaned, because they'll clean the sinks, they'll clean the toilets, they'll clean the walls, they'll clean the mirrors. You know the one thing that never, ever, ever gets cleaned?
The handle. The
handle of the door that you have to pull towards you to get out.
It's just like,
It's amazing. It's covered with so many germs. It's amazing you can even see it.
It's just unbelievable. And also, like, things that baffle me is that whenever I go to the cinema, I'm a huge film fan, I'm all stuck behind 2 or 3 people, or even a person, who buys food for the entire week. Yeah. I'm thinking, this film's only 2 hours long. You're not going to die.
How hungry are we, people? We have to graze like cattle all the way through a film. That baffles me. Why does popcorn go together with films?
Right, and it's like some people have a picnic, and the only thing missing is Yogi Bear and Boo Boo.
Yeah, the ants. The only thing they haven't brought with them is the ants.
Oh, God. And I don't know if you've noticed, when you're walking down the street, say if the pavement can accommodate 3 people,
yeah,
and then you've got, coming towards you, you've got 3 mums in their pushchairs, all in a line, and then you're going towards them, and instead of one of them actually getting behind the other 2, they just stare at you as if they walk in the road. I'm like, hold on a minute, you're blocking the whole pavement. So surely one of you can actually move out. It's a two-way junction.
Well, they're chatting, Milan.
Yeah, but it's a consideration because I'm opposite them. And so when I'm going in Leicester Square or anywhere else, why is it, things that baffle me is you've got girls who wear ultra-short skirts, but then they spend the entire evening kind of pulling them down to their ankles.
Well, they're a victim of ride up.
And it's like they'll wear that, and if a guy is, all right, hey, you look really nice. Oh, I can't believe it. I just want to go out and not have anyone comment on what great dress sense I have. I'm like, right, but it is a great dress. See, people are going to say it's a nice dress. So
yeah, I noticed that no one's commented on my dress sense this evening.
You look fantastic in that yellow number.
Yeah, thanks. By the way...
Warning!
Do not attempt to come into Leicester Square this evening. It's a melee out there, and by the time you get here, or by the time I leave this building, it will be a scene from hell.
I was there on Sunday, and it was pre-evening, and it had all these street entertainers as well there. And,
street entertainers. Now, what do you mean by that? Not those people that spray themselves gold and just stand still for a while. Not those people, because they're not entertaining. They're just freaky.
You got some geezers who just doing some odd dances, and they've attracted a huge crowd. I'm thinking the dance isn't even that great, and I'm not sure why everyone's cheering. But you know when you get a mass of people and you want to have a look at what everyone else is looking at, and then you're standing there for about 30 seconds thinking...
I would imagine that alcohol had something to do with it.
It was in the daytime.
Right, like I said. Any day is the right time for drinking booze in London's fashionable West End.
I don't know why I think that alcohol's restricted after 7, but yeah, it's... yeah, I suppose so, yeah. I mean, do you watch the street entertainers in Leicester Square? And
no,
think, wow,
never. Ever. Oh. The street entertainers? No. I wish that they get hosed off the street, like a lot, like particularly the ones that take up residence on the bridges going over towards the South Bank, and they set up a band, like there's a mariachi band or some sort of Eastern European like dance ensemble, and they just go on and they plug in. They're actually electric. They regale almost the entire South Bank with this racket on any pleasant day of the year, and you can't get away from them. It used to be a nice place to hang out and have a drink. Well, it often is, except for when those people show up, or the people outside Tate Modern who've got like Tweety bird sounds, and you think, where's that bird coming from? And it's just some bloke with a stupid whistle. That guy was right. I am mentally unstable.
No, yeah. I'd say in your defence, Nick, I admit you're an absolute legend.
Yeah.
So I'm fighting.
Legendarily unstable. Yeah. Have we concluded your list, or was there more?
No, that was more. No, I mean, I thought that was more. I'm mentally unstable now. So yeah, that was it. So there's 2 of us now.
OK, well done. Good work. Thanks a lot, Milan. Keep your eyes peeled. 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @lbc973. Saf Norwood. Hello, Philip.
Good evening, Nick.
Good evening, Philip.
You're talking about Google. I've got a neighbour who lives in my block of flats, an elderly gentleman. He loves Google Street View. Because what happened was they came round, as they do, they do your street, and they photographed our block of flats from the front.
He's outside. Or he's inside mooning.
No, he loves to sit in the window, you see, when he's not doing anything.
I bet he does. Mm-hmm.
And he looks out the window.
Yeah, peering.
Google Street View got him when they did photograph it, there he is, sitting in the second floor window. Well, he didn't know anything about it. Well, I found it and downloaded the picture and gave it to him, and he was thrilled to bits, that it's going to be on there forever.
Well, wasn't he pixelated?
Yes, he's really excited.
Yeah, but no, wasn't he pixelated? I don't mean drunk. I mean, didn't they rub his face out with digital?
No, they didn't touch his face.
Right.
No, because, I suppose you've got to complain, haven't you, to have be pixelated?
No, I thought it was an automatic thing. Any time that they recognised the face... Maybe the front of his head doesn't actually look like a face.
Oh, well, it is. You can definitely see him.
Woman with her hand up?
I'm on Google Street View.
Are you?
I am.
Doing what? To whom?
I am with a former colleague...
Yes.
And I'm standing outside of a pub.
Oh, wow.
And I'm about to go in the pub.
Well, that sounds like you.
Well...
that sounds great.
Slightly libelous, isn't it?
No, not really. You're a drunk. No, that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that you're a drunk.
But
that's all I am saying.
It was pointed out to me by another colleague who captured the photo and sent it to us.
Well, where's the pub?
Where's the pub? It's where our old LBC studios were.
Wow, you went into a pub there?
There was the
Are you
insane? The pub that everybody used to go into.
Right, not me.
No, well, that's not surprising.
Well, not sociable.
Were you ever invited?
And, unstable. There's a big sign outside saying unstable talk show presenters and anybody wearing dirty workman's clothes, strictly prohibited. Yes, Philip?
I like Google Street View because what I've done, I've got some scrapbooks and the places I've visited, I've been lucky to do a bit of travelling. I go onto Google Street View, put in streets near the places abroad that I've been.
Preston.
And I get, no, not Preston. I've been to Preston. Preston's all right. You can get the train there to Blackpool. No. And I've downloaded amazing pictures of areas I've been to, Australia, America and such like, and you get really interesting pictures.
Yeah, I doubt it. Of the road, like some anonymous road.
It's not anonymous. It means something to me because I've actually walked down that road and I've been there on holiday, and it was really, really good.
Well, that's what the World Wide Web was invented for. Send a card of thanks to Tim Berners-Lee.
One other thing, Nick. Something rather unusual happened round here yesterday.
Go on.
I was walking down the road and we've got a new baker's.
Minding your own affairs. Da 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 da.
No, this is interesting. You're going to like this. There's this baker's opened and they got these amazing cakes in the window and bread and
buns. Yes.
Yeah, I thought, oh wow, I'm going to go in there. I went past it this morning. It's closed down. And they're going inside, they're taking the fittings out.
Well, see, this isn't funny. They opened and then shut within the same day.
Yes, and I couldn't stop to, find out what had happened. Anyway, on my way back, I popped in to see one of the other traders, and I said, what happened? He said it was for a TV advert.
Oh.
That they'd stopped the shop. And the funny part, my friend at the trader next door, he'd got 3 or 4 boxes in his shop full of artificial cakes. And he said he's waiting for them to come and collect them.
Right. It was not an advert for a cake shop, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Right.
I did find out what the advert
was. A bank.
For. It was for a price comparison website.
Right.
And he showed me he got these artificial donuts, artificial cream cakes. And I thought, and I was sorry, I missed it. He said during the day, there were camera crews there. He reckons it must have cost a fair bit of money to make the advert.
Well, I used to live in a nice place. I know that sounds hard to believe, but I did, and I rented it out to a film crew, like about 4 or 5 of them. TV programs were made there, and dramas, and all of the rest of it. Some quite highfalutin productions.
Yes,
and Playboy came in with a totally hot babe and filmed her in the shower because we used to have a massive shower. But then also Martin Shaw came and did like a thing there, and I tell you what, if you can possibly wangle it, Philip, get a film crew to come around and shoot production in your place because they pay through the nose. They take over, but they certainly do have the money.
I would have thought. I often thought to that, can I just tell one other quick story, Nick? When I was in Canada once, I was staying in this hotel, and I woke up one morning, walked outside. They had not only changed the name of the hotel, but they changed the country. They changed all the street signposts. Same thing, they were making a film.
They changed the country?
Yes, it had gone from being Canada, Toronto, Canada, to some obscure European country near, I think, Russia or some such place. Because all the street signs, I couldn't read them. And the name of the hotel I was staying at, I couldn't pronounce it.
You haven't been picking mushrooms, have you, Philip?
No, this was true. They were making a film, because Toronto is very much like London. They make a lot of films there. I mean, America make a lot of films in Canada. And they changed the street signs and the hotel and...
Well, this is a lesson that we have learned from history. I believe that Wavy Gravy mentioned this at Woodstock. Stay away from the brown acid, Philip. Will you do that for me?
Wavy Gravy, who are they?
Look them up on the World Wide Web. There's another excellent use for the internet. 0845 6060 970. Wavy Gravy, who are they? No. This message says, I am often baffled by instructions included with new household purchases, says Edward. Instructions? Who reads those? Nick, what an irony that this August will see the anniversary of Britain celebrating the capture and demise of a Scottish hero and enemy, William Wallace, on the 5th of August to 1305. Today, almost 713 years later, the British are again celebrating, but this time the capture in their hearts of another Scottish hero who is not an enemy, Andy Murray. I now await Sunday's final confrontation with great anticipation and expectation, says John in Harrow on the Hill. That's not Harrow on the Henman Hill, is it? Am I alone here, being totally and utterly unmoved by the progress of that dour, grumpy, lanky Scotch person?
Well, I don't really like Wimbledon. I don't really watch tennis. I don't really find it that interesting.
No.
So, yeah.
Maybe we should make an effort.
Do you know, I was actually thinking that this year. Maybe I should watch it, but then I missed it because I was on holiday for a week of it. And then,
yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of passed me by again when I got back. I've been busy.
Doing a brief tour of what the most war-torn parts of the world. Spreading your cheer and happiness wherever you go.
I know, I'm all give.
Here's a call in Chelmsford. Hello, Peter.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. Just going back to what you were saying then briefly, I think you only have to kind of watch an interview with Mr. Murray to realise he's not the most interesting of people. But anyway, I digress. Going on to things that sort of baffle me, camping and the whole camping experience and why people go camping. I really just don't understand why anyone would want to do it.
Well, the only thing that occurs to me is that they can't afford a hotel.
Don't go anywhere then.
Don't go anywhere then. I wonder if they'd actually thought of that. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, exactly. You might as well just stay at home in your own comfort of your own home instead of going to sleep in the middle of a field.
They should have that in millets. Does millets still exist? They should have a sign next to the tents that says, don't go anywhere.
They should do. Yeah. They should do.
This is for display purposes only, not for sale. Just don't go anywhere. Well, is this from personal experience then, Peter? Have you been camping?
When I was younger, very young, and it just didn't appeal to me then, and I just can't understand why anyone would want to go and do it.
Well, perhaps somebody who is a campanologist can explain it to us. A camperist, yeah.
Go for it. I'm not expecting great things, to be honest. But
I'll throw it out there and we'll find out what comes back. Give me a ring, campanologists. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Peter. 0845 6060 973. By text and email. Confusing things. Iced coffee. Iced coffee? What's confusing about iced coffee? It's coffee that's cold and creamy. So yummy. Okay. Yes? What?
Because if you want a cold drink, then why not just get a lemonade?
Because coffee comes with drugs in it.
Well, so does certain other drinks as well, with caffeine coursing through them, so you could just buy one of those, couldn't you?
No, that's the cornerstone of evil right there. Did you see that thing about corn syrup? I mean, I know this is...
yeah, that's terrible.
Exactly.
Terrible.
Canadian researchers have found that high fructose corn syrup can cause behavioural reactions in rats similar to those produced by cocaine. The research suggested that there was an addictive quality to foods that contain high levels of high fructose corn syrup, which could explain at least partly the current global obesity epidemic. During the experiment, rats were fed foods containing varying levels of high fructose corn syrup, and they were then given access to a lever which controlled how much syrup they received. The more concentrated the syrup, the harder the rats worked to obtain it. There is now convincing evidence indicating that addiction to food is possible. Not just ordinary food, but food that's packed with high fructose corn syrup, which includes everything. Vulnerability to addiction could explain why some people are obese and some aren't, despite the widespread availability of high fructose corn syrup. See, we're all taking it, only some people are addicted to it. They just can't stop, can't help themselves. These new findings are part of a growing field of investigation into the effects of high fructose corn syrup, which has been blamed for everything, from the obesity epidemic to diabetes and liver disease. Research from Princeton University in 2010 found that rats fed on a sugary diet became nervous and anxious when sugar was removed. They were then thrown into a state of anxiety similar to the kind of stress that people feel during withdrawal from drugs like nicotine and morphine. You know, in a few years' time, they're going to think about high fructose corn syrup in much the same way we think about tobacco. It seems to be killing a lot of people. Cheap industrial corn is a huge crop, and you're likely to find it in every section of the supermarket, not to mention every single item in a fast food meal. All of them. It's the sweetener in the soda drinks, it's the corn-fed beef burger, it's the high fructose syrup in the bun, and the sauce, and everything that goes with it. The gloopy syrup is made from surplus corn crops and can be found in sweet foods such as donuts and chocolate bars and soda, but also in bread and pizza and meat and savoury snacks and salad dressing. It's in everything. Former head of the US Federal Department of Agriculture, FDA, is that? Anyway, he believes that sugar is extremely addictive, just like cigarettes and alcohol. He said that eating sugar is highly pleasurable. It gives you this momentary bliss. When you're eating food that is highly hedonic, it sort of takes over your brain. Groovy. I could do with a couple of pints of that right now. What do you say, Amanda? Croydon, hello, Sarah.
Hello,
Sarah.
I'm a campanologist.
You're a bell ringer?
Yes.
You're a bell ringer?
I am indeed.
Why do you ring bells?
It's fantastic. Have you ever tried it?
No.
You must try it.
Where does one go to ring bells, Sarah?
Or your local church, or you could go up and down the country, and they're very friendly people, and you can go and grab towers. It's known as tower grabbing, and you sort of go in and get a ring on the bells. It's fantastic.
Do they still have local churches? They've all been turned into flats.
You can do them every Sunday morning and practice nights in the week.
But you see, to me, it just looks like yanking on a rope.
There's a lot to it. It's technique.
Is there?
Yeah, it's not about strength. I mean, some bells are the weight of, a large car, sort of 3,600 weight or something. But if someone's got a good technique, they could, like a medium-sized woman could do it.
Yeah, but when you say technique, it's just a technique of yanking on a rope.
No, it's not yanking. It's taking the bell up to balance and bringing it down again.
Yeah.
And doing it synchronised with about 12 other people.
And do you do that by yanking on a rope?
No, you don't. You take it off the balance and bring it down and catch the Sally.
Catch the who now?
Catch the Sally. That's
Is that allowed?
That's the woolly bit.
Right. The what now?
The woolly bit on the rope.
And then what?
And then you do it all over again.
Right.
And you do it in a mathematical pattern.
Oh, yeah. What, you have to do maths while you're doing it? Multiplication and subtraction and addition.
and your bells kind of move through each other, going up to the back of the pattern and back down to the front.
Yeah, well, it sounds very, very complicated, that yanking on a rope.
It's nothing like the Mars advert.
I don't watch adverts on TV, so I have no idea what you're talking about. But I bet it helps you work, rest and play. I bet I got that right. Yeah. Well, thanks for giving us a little insight into the freaky world of rope yankers.
That was a pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Sarah.
Thanks.
0845. The stuff you learn on this show, it's like an education, ain't it?
Negative.
0845 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3. What baffles you?
On FM, online and digital radio, this is the UK's Station of the Year, LBC 97.3. Call 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Tweet at LBC 973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
Hello?
Yeah, my emotions are completely different this year. This is me sounding emotionally very excited. And this is me sounding emotionally quite depressed. It's completely different.
Here's calling Cricklewood. Hello, Mustafa.
Nick, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Good. That doesn't baffle me, actually. But what does baffle me is, earlier this week, a woman walked into a branch of Sainsbury's and was on her phone.
Yeah.
And the cashier complained and said, well, the cashier didn't complain. The cashier just said, look, get off the phone, I'm not going to serve you.
Yeah.
Simple as. She took the time to complain because she thought this was some sort of an audacious thing for the cashier to do. Got a £10 voucher, an apology, and is now taking her business to Waitrose. And I'm just thinking, for God's sake.
She won't be able to buy much with £10 at Waitrose.
Well, she won't be able to buy anything because of the £10 voucher for Sainsbury's, regardless. I mean, the reason it annoys me so much, because I used to be a cashier at one of our country's noble and socially responsible banks, which I can't name, of course. But I once had a customer who gave me a sealed envelope while she was on the phone with her credit card bill inside. And I just looked at her and said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to open your mail, because first, it's illegal, and secondly, you're on the phone. So she sort of huffed and puffed and opened it herself and threw the bill at me, to which I said, well, how much do you want to pay? She kept huffing and puffing and say, oh, this amount. I said, excuse me, listen, you're on the phone. Do you want to just put that on hold for a bit and just talk to me and tell me exactly what we want to do? And she was like, can you just pay the bill, please? So I just, being the good customer service representative I was, paid the bill, gave it back to her.
Well, she did say please.
Well, please only go so far when you're on the phone, Nick. I don't know, it just baffles me that someone would take the time, even though they're in the wrong, to complain. And then now, I've read on the BBC, and the BBC love to do this. They've made a whole article, they've gone out interviewing people in London. And that also baffles me. I just think, what on earth are you reporting on this for? I mean, do you really have not much to report on?
Well, I don't know. It seems to be exercising you. I was amused by that during the course of the week, and I'm with the cashier. Get off the phone, you rude people.
Thank you. If I said the phone's ringing now, Nick, I wouldn't say, oh, hang on a second, let me talk to two people at once.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'd call them and say, actually, let me get back to you. I'm on a more important conversation.
However, similarly, I would have to say, as a customer, when I go into a store and I go up to the desk, an otherwise empty store, and the phone rings, and the customer and the person behind the desk picks the phone up rather than talk to me, who's made the effort to arrive there in person, then I find that unacceptable.
I appreciate that, definitely. Well, another thing that bothers me,
so never do that again, Mustafa.
Well, I never have, except when I see you, in which that will be the first time.
Right. You were going to say another thing, and another thing.
Yeah, another thing. That's it. When you were mentioning the whole FDA issue regarding corn syrup, and I apologise, I was trying my best to keep up with that because it was a lot of information to take in.
Yeah, huge.
Huge. You mentioned the word. I think it was Honda or Honda.
You are?
I think there was a word you mentioned called, I think it was Honda or Honda, some sort of word. I don't know what it was.
What was in connection with?
I think it was in connection with the effects of sugar, like the really temporary effects of sugar, and it gives you some sort of bliss.
Oh, hedonic.
Hedonic, that's it, yeah, thank you. What does that mean?
It's, hedonistic. It's in the same, it's part of the same word, it's like, you want me to sum it up for you in one word?
Yowza.
There it is. Thanks a lot, Mustafa. Now get off the phone. 0845 6060 973. Confusing things. Oh, I read this one. Iced coffee, pension agreements, and the Waterloo and City line. What's the point? What baffles me is how these rickshaws are still allowed to ply their trade in London. Not an hour ago, I saw one tip over and spill its passengers over the road, says John. I'm amazed too. How are they getting away with it? So we need to get rid of them. I mean, we actually do need to get rid of them. I mean, who that is not absolutely paralytically drunk would pay somebody to drive them around in one of those shabby vehicles, while all around are buses and cars and people in 4x4s and drivers who are encased in steel and therefore aren't paying close attention to what's going on around them? Why would you get into one of those things? Are you crazy? So we need to get rid of them. We need to get rid of the people with the tweeting bird thing outside the Tate Modern, and we need to get rid of the people who set up camp on the bridges over the South Bank and start up an electric band. I'm stunned at that. What kind of a town is this? I mean, isn't this the job of Bozo the Mayor to actually fix stuff like this? This one says, hello, Nick. What baffles me is Pippa Middleton. What does she actually do? Someone said that she wrote a book about things on sticks, which doesn't sound too novel. All I have ever seen is her grinning visage in the Evening Standard at some party or other. Totally baffling, says Gary. What does she do? Here is Glasgow. Hello, Anne.
Hello, Nick.
Anne.
How are you?
I'm great, mate.
Great show as usual.
Thanks, Anne.
I really loved your description of the Dour Lanky Scotsman.
Yeah.
As much as I loved the description from the Liverpool caller who said he didn't deserve to be in a final.
Well,
up here,
I don't know about
here
that.
in Scotland, we are absolutely delighted that
course.
you English are absolutely devastated that there's a Scotsman going to win Wimbledon.
No, we're not devastated. If a Scotsman wins Wimbledon, then he will be a British tennis player.
No, he'll be Scots.
No. Down here, he'll be British.
Do you not notice all the Scottish flags?
I don't watch tennis. I just
Well,
don't
how
watch
do you know
it.
that he's a Dour Lanky Scotsman if you don't watch tennis?
Well, all you have to do is listen.
Somebody tell you?
No, yeah, he did.
Well, that's kind of strange. If you don't watch tennis, how can you say that about him?
Well, I've heard him.
You've heard him
Yeah.
playing tennis?
No, I've heard him speaking, Anne.
All right, but you're just like the rest of the English and you're just jealous. We're having a great time up here in Scotland listening to you.
Right. Well, as long as you as long as you don't characterise 50 million people with one sweep of your brush, Anne.
Well, as I say, you English are just jealous because the first Scotsman is going to win Wimbledon and you can't hack it.
If you say so. I think most of us are just blithely either unaware or totally uninterested. But if it means that much to you, Anne, then I'll go along. 0845 6060 973. Okay, I can't stop myself from doing this for a moment longer. This is incredible. People should be on the streets. Parliament will be embroiled in another expenses scandal unless MPs are given an above-inflation pay rise. This is the Parliament's independent advisor, Sir Ian Kennedy. He's chairman of the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority. He admitted that while it's not a good time to discuss a pay rise at a time of austerity, the issue could not be pushed aside or ignored. Yes, it can. You can push it to one side and ignore it, you silly sir.
Correct.
Can you believe it? Despite MPs' fears of a likely public backlash, Sir Ian appeared to criticise the party leaders, including desperate David Cameron and Nick Clegg, who have voiced their opposition to the pay rise. He said the decision rests with IPSA alone, the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority. He says, I have the authority. The legislation that gave us... this is a quote from him. The legislation that gave us the responsibility is quite clear. The power to set the pay and pensions of MPs rests with IPSA alone. MPs do not get a vote, he said. And they don't need to vote if IPSA does just whatever they would have wanted anyway. Sir Ian Kennedy, chairman of the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority, said the decision would be difficult, but the regulator will not shirk its responsibility to make a determination simply because the task is difficult. Yes, they will not shirk the onerous task of awarding even more money to their close personal friends in the politics racket. Sir Ian said, of course, this is not a good time to be talking about the pay element of the package, save to notice that in the public sector, pay increases are limited to 1% a year. But given that there has never been a good time, this is as good a time as any. Priceless. He says, we know what happens when the element of pay is pushed aside as simply being too hard. The nods and winks school of public financing emerges, and ultimately we end up with circumstances like 2009. No one wanted the system that brought Parliament to its knees in 2009 to come into being, but it was the inevitable result of hard decisions being deferred. Are you following this? It was our fault that our elected representatives stole and lied and connived. We should have just given them the money, and then they wouldn't have had to steal it. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Negative.
It's insane. The Parliamentary Spending Watchdog is expected to recommend that MPs should receive a pay rise of either £10,000 or £20,000. £10,000 would take them to around 75 grand a year. £75,000 a year. What? And you know, that's a percentage rise of from 65,000 to 75,000. That's a percentage rise of it's a percentage rise of it's a lot. Syrian signalled the MPs should be paid more than other public sector workers because do you know why he said this? Do you have a wild stab in the dark, Amanda? Why do you think that MPs should be paid more than other public sector workers?
Because they are honest as the day is long.
No, he said that they should be paid more than other public sector workers because of their unique contribution to society. You know what? Please. You lot have contributed enough. Don't help us any more. We can't afford it. Sir Ian also floated the idea that once MPs have been given a pay rise, their earnings should subsequently be tied to average wages. So massive pay rise first, then tie their money to the average worker. Sir Ian Kennedy, chairman of the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority, said previous reviews have recommended that the appropriate index for MPs' pay should be movements in public sector pay. We feel, however, that the unique nature of their role as representatives of the whole community means that a broader index is required. In other words, we're not all in this together. He said, we are impressed, but I wonder if he means himself or the whole body which he represents. Let's assume it's the latter. We are impressed by the idea that MPs' pay should move in line with the fortunes of those they represent, he said, such that MPs' pay would be indexed to movements in national average earnings. If the average wage goes up, MPs' pay would go up. If the average wage falls, MPs' pay would fall. No, it won't. The average wage is falling. And they're recommending a huge rise. Are they even listening to themselves? No. Sir Ian said the role of MPs sits at the heart of our democracy. It's in all our interest that this role is performed effectively. I mean, honestly, if I was making this up, you would not be surprised, right? I'm not. He said having a parliament accessible to all, one which does not deter the less well-off from seeking election, one which does not require MPs without independent means to seek patronage, is crucial to the continuing health of our democracy. What planet are these people living on? And exactly what other job that pays £65,000 a year, plus a six-figure expenses package, and access to those with power and money, are those people going to get? What other jobs are they going to do that pay that much? How else are they going to use their limited skills to earn that kind of money in Sheffield and Walsall and wherever? Who among them could possibly earn the kind of remuneration that an MP gets in any other avenue of employment that is open to them? What are they going to do that earns that they would have to sacrifice in order to become an elected representative? Who are they kidding? Sir Ian said, we've also been guided by two further principles, that when it comes to remuneration, MPs should be treated as professionals, and that any new package of remuneration should be modern in outlook and application. And by modern in outlook and application, he means that any new package should resemble those offered to the MP's closest friends in the banking racket. I just don't believe it. I knew it was coming. I've been saying it on the air ever since the expenses scandal broke. I just don't believe that they're actually going to do it. Now, of all times. That's what baffles me. How about you? 0845 6060 973. What baffles you? Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3.
LBC 97.3. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
I think this is nonsense.
What? 0845 6060 973. We are talking about bafflement. Surbiton. Hello, Diana.
Hello, Nick.
Diana.
It just baffles me that this guy in Egypt, he was elected, right?
Yeah.
And the guy what we've got in this country wasn't.
The guy that we've got in this country wasn't elected?
No, Cameron wasn't elected.
Well, in a manner of speaking, it was.
Same as what's name, we had to have a coalition government.
Yeah.
None of them were elected.
Well, that's the way the system works here, though. I mean, there were. Essentially, the coalition government wasn't elected, but Cameron was the one that got the most votes.
Yeah. And as you say about all their pay and that, I'm not surprised about that, not one bit.
Not even a tiny bit, Diana. Aren't you shocked and stunned?
I am shocked.
Right,
and stunned,
but not surprised.
I think it's being serious for a moment. I think it's disgusting what they've done, really.
But you're not surprised, but you are shocked and stunned.
Yeah.
Right. You're in two minds. Is that fair to say?
What'd you say?
There's a dichotomy rattling around your skull. Is that the situation over there in Surbiton?
Yeah, that is the situation, quite frankly. But I think a lot of people don't. The people I speak to today don't take much notice of politics. They're fed up with it.
Who have you been speaking to today?
Different people I speak to.
Right.
You know, different people I know. They're fed up with politics.
Real people? Or?
Yeah. Of course I know real people like you do.
I prefer not to speak to people.
I'm not such an idiot as what you are, or that other lady called
you. Well, I know, yeah. Stuff you hear on this show, eh? All right, thanks a lot, Diana. 0845 6060 973. Murray angered by the roof closing. Is he ever not angry about something, says Tim. Well, you know, that's part of what makes excellence in sports people. You get all fired up. I mean, what's his name? The tennis brat. What's his name? McEnroe. He used to be furious about everything all the time, and that's what made him play better. Because when you get angry, then you start to, like pummel your opponent. Anger has got a lot of has a great place in sport. It's not that it's not anger that what concerns us. And as for that nice lady who called me in Glasgow. And said that everybody in England is really upset about Murray because he's Scots and he's doing very well. You know, this English, Scottish the animosity only exists in the minds of Scots. English people, we're blithely unaware of it. We just don't care. It's just you. And I say this being half Scottish, and I grew up in Scotland, and I went to school in Edinburgh. And I know for certain that it's only in your minds, Scottish people, this animosity between the two countries. And it is, it's evident in Scotland, wherever you go, and almost whoever you speak to. I mean, no, that's not true. Not whoever you speak to. There's a certain, there's a significant element in Scotland who are, it doesn't occupy their every waking moment, but they are riven with hatred and distrust for the English. And the English, we just don't care. I think that's a fair summation of the situation. We just don't care. That which probably makes you even more furious, right? Yeah. And I understand that when a Scots person wins something or other, then he's British. And we will clutch him to our national breast. Or her. And when they lose, well, it's not that they're Scottish, it's just that we don't, it's hard to make a song and a dance about somebody who loses. But the notion that England is upset because a Scot is winning Wimbledon, well, it couldn't be more wrong. The nation seems to be on its tippy toes, hollering hollering him on. I mean, we used to say, come on, Timmy, and now it used to be Henman Hill, and now it's Murray Mound. Oh, Struth, the alliteration. When will it ever stop? Croydon, hello, Francis.
Hello, Nick.
Francis.
How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Well, things that baffle me. I was talking about it with one of my friends just recently. I'm just shocked that people still believe in politicians and politics. I mean, I'm speechless.
Well, what is it about? Well, what is it about? What is it specifically that you're talking about? Well, all politicians.
All politicians, who is not exception. Why people still believe in politics and politicians when you know from day one, all they do is tell lies. They're not going to change your life. They're there just to help themselves.
Well, if at first you don't succeed in voting in somebody who is trustworthy and does what they're going to say, then try again, or...
Well, excuse me, I know it's not to be simple, but none of them are trustworthy. Name me one politician in today's politics that's trustworthy.
In today's politics, one politician that I could put my
don't
trust
tell me Boris, please.
Trust, no. I wasn't going to do that. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like I listen to sometime in the morning when Nick Clegg is on, and people call him and talk about their problems in their lives and stuff like that. Like he's going to do something about it, really.
Well, of all the politicians of the three in the major parties, I would have to say that he seems, even though they all look exactly the same and they all seem precisely the same and they all appear as though they're cut from the same cloth, he appears to be the most normal.
Normal, because his job is worthless.
His job is worthless. Well, it's not worthless exactly. He seems to specialise in giving the government grief, or giving David Cameron grief, enraging his the Tory backbench.
What grief?
Unless they've just planned it between them, and that's his role. And I wouldn't be remotely surprised if that was the case.
And about the MP as well, about our pay rise. I mean, why don't we just give him the key to the Bank of England and say there's money there?
I'm surprised that they didn't go for the full 100,000, because that's what they're actually angling for, and with extra.
Ask the guy, what's his name again?
Jeffrey. What I'm saying, huh?
Is that Jeffrey, the Chancellor? The Chancellor.
The Chancellor, George Osborne. Boo. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I said Jeffrey. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, just give him the keys to the Bank of England and say, when you need the money, he's there. Go help yourself. What's the point of going through the process? It's when I get a law passed through Parliament so they can get a pay rise. I don't get it. I mean, That's just a waste of time.
All right. Thanks a lot, Francis. Keep the faith. 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC973. This is Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3. The time 11:30. The news headlines with Zora by text and email. Things that baffle you. What baffles me, says this one, is traffic lights that change to red when there is nothing coming the other way and no one is waiting to cross the road. Yeah, that baffles me as well. It's infuriating. It's absolutely maddening. You drive around town at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and there won't be anybody else on the road, and you approach one of those crossing lights and it changes to red just as you approach for no reason at all, other than it detects that you have perhaps exceeded the speed limit by 1 mile an hour, which doesn't make the slightest bit of difference at that time of night because you're the only person that's up. But it will see your car coming the other way with one of those evil cameras that's parked on top of it, and it will stop you, halt your progress. That's not saving the planet. Nick, how many signatures are required to get a debate on a pay cut for MPs, says John in Streatham? Yeah, about 65 million. You know, as in a welcome extension of our democratic rights, they said now that you can put a proposal on our government website, and all you have to do is get, to 10,000 signatures or 100,000 signatures? How many was it exactly?
It's 10,000, wasn't it?
Oh, I have no idea. It doesn't make any difference. And they said that if you get 10,000, let's say it's 10,000 signatures, and that will presage a possible debate on the issue in Parliament. Heavy emphasis on the word possible, because they can still say no. Don't you find that stunning? Hello? Because that baffles me, that they could say that this is a great step forward in democracy, that we will possibly debate anything that you can get enough support for. But it doesn't matter how much support you get for it, they can still say, oh, nah. That baffles me. I'm just stunned that people take it seriously. Whatever it is, that you could get literally every single person in the country voting for a proposal like that. And I bet we could get a couple of million. In fact, if somebody put it on that website, does it even still exist? The people don't bother with that anymore because they know it's just a load of old rubbish. But if you put a proposal on the government's website for a pay cut of £10,000 for MPs, and every single person in the country signed it, they would still look at it and say, nah. They will debate something as long as they wanted to debate it anyway, regardless of what you will do or achieve on that site. Baffling. Reigate, hello, Alan.
Hi, good evening, Nick.
Alan.
I agree with you, it's baffling about the pay rise that they're trying to get.
Yeah.
It's amazing, actually, you should say what you've just said about the e-petition site, because the party, what annoys me and what aggravates me is the parties we currently have and the MPs we currently have are just one large lump of blancmange, really. Just different, slightly darker or lighter shades of pink or blue or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And what gets me is that this country, we have the power as the people to actually change things. And the way to change it is to put a petition on that website that says what we want to do is we want to cut the MP number to 400. We want to actually pay you more, but because it'll be 400, we'll actually be paying less in total, so probably the figure's somewhere around 100 grand. You will get no expenses, and you will all have to, when you're in London, stay in a block of flats that are specifically set up for MPs to stay in, so there'll be no second home charges, no second home allowances, no buying things for your duck pond, none of that. That's what needs to go on the website, and that, I think, would get millions of signatures. But I doubt it because of the apathy that we have in the UK.
Well, everything that you just said, I mean, I took a sharp intake of breath when you said they should be paid 100,000, but then you swiftly followed it up by saying, well, we'll cancel all of your expenses.
That's right.
And actually, you know what, that doesn't sound like such a bad idea, because they must be pulling a six-figure sum on top of their salaries in expenses.
Yep.
Are they still doing that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would imagine if you wanted to get quality people who were doing it for the right reasons, you pay them a proper amount of money. You reduce the numbers. You actually have and what you need to do is set up a people's party or whatever you want to call it.
But honestly, can I just stop you there? Is there?
Yeah,
do you really believe that anybody goes into politics for what you would describe as the right reasons?
I think there are some who have, and I think there are some who, over the years, Tony Benn, Skinner, various others, there are a lot of people who have got that they want to do the right thing for the people. I think the problem you have is we, the people, no longer run anything. The banksters, the large, big pharma and big oil run everything. And that's why you've got somebody like Boris Johnson talking about fracking in London and in the southeast.
I wish it was called something else.
Well, so do I. But to do that is going to destroy so much of our water table. Is going to, and we won't know about it because it's too bloody late. That's
well, you know, in America, there's some fellow has just done a couple of documentaries, one of which has just recently come out, and people, gas oil. Gasland, right. And people who are living near where fracking, gosh, I wish it was called something else, is taking place, can actually set the water that comes out of their kitchen tap on fire.
Yep. And the problem is that once you've destroyed the water table, you then will have water that's no use for human consumption. I've always said it for the last 5 years or so that the next wars will be fought over water anyway.
Yeah, easily, yeah.
And I know we've had that conversation.
Well, probably oil for a while, and then maybe gas, and territory will always come into it, but there will be water wars, yeah.
Absolutely. And we really need to, as a country, I mean, you've got other countries in the world where they will stand up and the populace will get on the streets. You've got 23 million just appeared in Egypt. You're going to have a big uprising in France soon. Hollande has just committed the cardinal sin. He's condemned everything that was being done under PRISM and Echelon and the NSA. And then
been discovered to be...
wouldn't allow the Bolivian guy to land, and they've forced him to land in Austria, and he's had his plane searched.
But Francois Hollande has been criticising America and us and everybody else that he can think of for spying on their citizenry when come to find out that France is doing the exact same thing.
Well, they're all doing it. I mean, at least we all know it's being done now. And the conversation that we're having, the conversations, emails, your Google, your whatever, I mean, it makes me laugh. There's a big argument about Google privacy. None of us have got any privacy now. They know where I am to within about 12 feet.
I know where you are, Alan.
Well, there you go. Then it'll be very dangerous. But anyway, good luck to Andy Murray tomorrow. Even if you don't like tennis, you've got to cheer him on.
Now, isn't it Sunday?
Well, Sunday, Sunday.
Well, I wish him all the best. I won't be cheering him on. I'll be tending a barbecue.
Oh, enjoy your barbecue.
I've got very important business.
That Scots lady gave you a hard time.
Well, no, she was fine.
All right, that's cool. Anyway, it's good you mentioned that about the government website, because keep your eyes open on that. I'll let you have a link in due course.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference, Alan. No one cares.
The way that this may be set out might make a big difference. People might actually start to think, hang on a minute, we could actually change it. We, the people, decide who's in power.
You're absolutely right. We, the people, can change we can change how the world runs. We can change how it looks. We can change how we're being served and serviced. And all we have to do is think it up and do it as one. And there is one tool that we now have at our disposal that people have never had before. The one thing that can actually make it happen: social media and the internet.
Remember this slogan, Nick, because I've already got it out on the web. We have a voice, and social media is the choice. And that's what the people need to understand and connect to each other. And humanity networks and connections of people can change anything.
But they won't.
Well, hypothetically, they could screw the banks just by moving all their money into building society.
Exactly.
Most people won't do
that. We could shut supermarkets. We could shut supermarkets down. That we've taken against just by inact. We don't even have to act. We just have to not act.
Yeah. But the problem is getting the populace to understand, and you'll never get it on me. And that's why you're so good and why LBC is so good. You allow people to express the sort of things I've expressed, and lots of others have expressed things very well as well. I'm not claiming any credit on my front. What I'm saying is you, as LBC, and which is why you're now the Station of the Year, you make the opportunities. Mainstream media, the main newspapers and press and television will never do it.
Well, thanks, Alan. I'll take all the credit. Cheers, mate.
You can take all the credit with your colleagues.
084... No. Just me. 0845 6060 973. You would agree with that, wouldn't you, Amanda? I'm befuddled, says this one, as to why rich landowning gentry are ruling the working class. I'm befuddled as to why rich landowning gentry are ruling the working class. Is it because they're rich landowning gentry? This says, I'm befuddled with you, Nick, that you would not mention anything about the heat wave because you usually always talk about the weather. I have detailed files. Hey, Amanda, can you get up the weather forecast for the next 5... See, now the pleasant weather hasn't improved your mood any. Where's the sunshine coming from that room in there? Sadly lacking. Forecasters predict temperatures will reach... Are you ready? 30 centigrade on Sunday, leaving Britain warmer than parts of India and the Caribbean over the weekend. 30 centigrade is 86 Fahrenheit. Double it and add 32. It's 60. It's 80. That's not... Double it and add 32. That's 92. That's not 86. Oh, wow, look at that. The 5-day forecast. How fantastic. The Met Office has said that the glorious summer conditions are due to continue well into the middle of the month. And when I read that first, I thought, wow, that's fantastic. And then I remembered the middle of the month is next week. Oh. It will be a welcome change following the unusually cold spring this year and the wet summer last year. I can't think of a single, like a long period where we actually got summer last year, can you? You know, hot heat, where people start going, oh, it's too hot. When people start complaining about the heat, that's when I like it the best. The Met Office said potentially we could be seeing a new maximum temperature for the year on Sunday. Some parts of the country could get to 86 Fahrenheit. However, the pollen counts are going to be high and very high for most of the country over the weekend, so it's going to be quite agonising for some. I swear, half of the carriage in the tube that I was coming into was sneezing their faces off. It was like an orgy of expellation. I got none on me. What are you looking like that for?
What a horrible thought.
The warm weekend weather is expected to bring a boom for barbecue sales as many people try to take advantage of the sunshine. Tourism bosses in Brighton said they were expecting about 400,000 sunseekers over the weekend, all of whom should bring their own sand. While coastal areas are expected to get a lot of sunshine, they could start Saturday a little cooler than places further inland, with London to get the warmest conditions. Don't travel by bus. The north of England and Scotland will be cloudy for most of Saturday and maybe even hit by outbreaks of heavy rain. Ha ha! The rest of the country will enjoy dry, sunny conditions, just as we deserve. Thank you. Monday is expected to see similar temperatures as Sunday. I know that sounds hard to believe, and the summer heatwave will continue throughout the week and even into the next week, according to the Met Office. Well, they better be right about that, or I'll come visiting. Look at this forecast. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, some sun, 26 degrees. This doesn't, it's not as dramatic in centigrade. I don't like centigrade. Can we have it in Fahrenheit? That's better. 79 Fahrenheit tomorrow. Now that sounds hot. Sunday, not a cloud in the sky. 82. You know what the low's going to be on Sunday? 61. That's fantastic. No one will get any sleep. Monday, 79 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. And Tuesday, 77 Fahrenheit. And total sun from noon till night. I want to. Can you take a picture of that page? I want to frame it.
You'll never believe it.
To remember this moment. Yeah. It's like when you recorded something from a long time ago, and there's the weather forecast before the programme, and it's out of season, like you recorded it 6 months ago, or something like that, and you've got snow outside, and there's a man on telly pointing at the sun. It's going to be baking heat tomorrow, he'll be saying.
It's funny because we get such extreme changes, you can never believe. You think, gosh, 6 months ago we were absolutely freezing, and you can never quite believe
you can't.
it, can you?
Yes, you can't keep in mind the notion of it being much, much colder than it actually is.
Actually is very recent that would have been the case as well, but you still...
like last weekend.
Yeah, well,
it was freezing. Not freezing exactly, but it was a bit chilly.
It wasn't freezing, you're overreacting slightly there.
Well, I'm very sensitive.
That'll be your mental imbalance
yeah, thanks for that.
we've diagnosed.
No, I'm just sensitive, that's all. Okay. Here's a call in Tunbridge Wells. Hello, Peter.
Evening, Nick.
Peter.
I'm saying evening to you.
Yeah, Peter.
What baffles me is the amount of cash put into Formula One, and now the next race might be postponed because the tyres are blistering, blowing up, and leaving rubber little balls on the track after a lap.
Yeah, you know when I said that tennis was the most boring sport in the world, well, I was lying about that. Formula One racing is the most boring sport in the world.
I had a feeling you would say that, my friend. Okay, it wasn't time so easier when it was Pink Zeppelin and Purple's Abbot entertaining us all in the 70s. Those were the days. Okay, I'll let you get on with the show, my friend.
Okay, not a moment too soon. What was he talking about? I'm baffled by that call. Often I'm baffled by this show, and I'm doing it. David Cameron cannot block a £10,000 pay rise for MPs if it is recommended by Parliament's independent advisers, a government minister has suggested. The most powerful man in the land can do nothing to prevent the undeserving getting a 10 grand pay rise paid for by us poor sods. Francis Maude, a Cabinet Office Minister, said pay for MPs is not in the control of government because it's been handed over to the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority. Oh, please. Oh, there's nothing we can do. We're helpless. These advisers are recommending a pay rise of 10 grand a week for MPs. They did also bandy around the figure of £20,000 a week. Would anybody be surprised if they actually gave themselves 20 grand, not a week, a year? Would anybody be remotely surprised?
No.
Francis Maude, a Cabinet Office Minister, said it does not come within the government's ambit. That's run by the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority. He says, what we do have in our control is the pay of ministers. And the first thing the coalition government did was to agree that we should all take a 5% pay cut from what our predecessors were getting. And when there has been a modest 1% increase in MPs' pay, we've actually taken that off ministers. So ministers' pay is absolutely frozen for the whole of Parliament. That is within our control, and that is what we are doing, says Francis Maude, a Cabinet Office Minister. They all speak like odd, don't they? Like police have their own way of speaking, and politicians have their own way of speaking. And the one that was most noticeable, just because of his dour demeanour, was Gordon Brown. That is what I have said, and that is what I'll continue to say, and that is what I'll say in the future. And he would say stuff like that. That is within our control, and that is what we are doing, and that is what we will continue to do, moving forward. Said Francis Maude, a Cabinet Office Minister. What he didn't say was that ministers' pay is partly made up from salary they get from being an MP. So if MPs get a 10 grand pay rise, so do ministers. Absolutely frozen for the whole of Parliament. That is what he said. So in other words, the second that Parliament breaks up, then they will all be coining it in. And do we really expect that their actual amount, their total remuneration has gone down? They're famously adept at making it up in other ways. The PM is under pressure to come out against the pay rise after Labour sources said this weekend that Ed Miliband is opposed to it. And I think they're all protesting too little. Nick Clegg, the Liberal Democrat leader, has publicly expressed concern about the idea. Yeah, all the leaders protesting very softly. They're not angry, they're just disappointed. But they're not going to do anything about it. Oh, it's outside of our control. We're helpless. IPSA, the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority, is understood to be considering a pay rise of between £10,000 and £20,000. The changes will come into force after the 2015 general election. Did you hear that? So when Francis Moore, the Cabinet Office Minister, says that pay is absolutely frozen for the whole of Parliament, what he did fail to say was that the pay rise will come after Parliament. So ministers will be able to claim the full amount. You actually have to watch every single thing that these people say. IPSA is understood to be considering this pay rise. In January, MPs made fresh demands for a £20,000 pay rise, with a survey showing more than two-thirds of members believe that they are not paid enough. I wonder what percentage of the public who are footing the bill think that MPs are not being paid enough. The study found politicians on average believe that they should be paid £86,000 rather than £66,000, with many demanding more than £100,000 a year. IPSA did a study to figure that out, did they? And then they could just put those results in a folder marked policy. You know, some MPs wanted a solid gold flying carpet to waft them into work. Will IPSA be recommending they get that too? John Bercow, the Speaker of the House of Commons, has been pushing for better pay for MPs to encourage talented people to become MPs. Well, it would be nice. However, it would be politically very difficult for David Cameron to back an increase in MPs' pay when the economy is only just beginning to recover from recession. Is that what it's doing? He's frozen ministerial pay since entering government, and MPs have only had a 1% pay rise this year. Do you know how much ministers get? You know what the figure is that ministers get? Because there's the MP's pay, which is about £65,000 a year. Do you know what the total... This is pre-expenses, pre-rent paid, pre-claiming for their kids and all the rest of these financial finagling that they undertake. A minister's pay is £145,000 a year. £145,000 a year. And they're saying that we're going to freeze it at that amount. How will they get by? Streatham, hello, Sally.
Hi, Nick.
Sally.
Right. The start of computers. I'm baffled. My son bought me a Kindle. I had a, what are they called, iPad.
Yeah.
And everyone I speak to, oh, it's easy. And I go, well, could you show me? Oh, well, no, but they're easy.
You got to switch them on first, Sally.
Yeah,
they don't work if you don't put...
On. I can get YouTube, some of it anyway. But I can't do an email. No one can show me how to do an email.
Well, who would you send it to?
Well, I found a couple of friends. And I'm dying to send them one. But anyway, that's neither. The other thing is royalty. I really don't get why we're giving the Queen a rise, and everyone that I object to about it goes, well, she works hard.
Yeah.
Well, I work bloody hard, but I never got a rise of £6,000.
It's not really working hard. Let's be perfectly honest about this. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people...
She doesn't work hard. I wouldn't... I'd let them keep me and I'd do her job.
I have described many times an average day for the Queen, and it would work something like this. She gets up whenever she wants and glides into a room of proportions that you could fit most people's houses into, and she dines on the finest comestibles that exist on Earth, and then she is wafted to her first engagement, which will most likely be smiling and chatting and shaking people's hands while she's wearing gloves, which is just rude.
But when I was a child, in our school, I was made to stand out in the freezing cold, and we never had coats or anything then because we was poor, and the flag put in our hand.
Yeah.
This big car come along and we were supposed to wave, and in my head I thought, what am I doing? And that stayed with me for the rest of my life. I wouldn't wave, I wouldn't bow to any of them. They're awful people.
What, could you curtsy, Sally?
No, I would not.
Right. Genuflect just a little bit? Would you doff your cap just a smidge?
I get really angry because I just do not, I can't get it, I don't get it.
Well, anyway, to complete what I was saying, she gets wafted to whatever appointment is next. Basically, an average day in the Queen's life would be the best day of anybody else's life. Work doesn't look like that to me.
Text 84850, tweet at LBC 973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
Now everybody's happy.
Literally everybody is happy, apart from all those that aren't. 0845 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3. Things that baffle you. This is after Google's privacy rules have been declared illegal and leave internet users baffled about how their personal details will be used. This is Britain's data protection watchdog speaking. Google's privacy rules are baffling. What baffles you? 0845 6060 973. First call in this hour, Leytonstone. Hello, Sophie.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
Before I talk about things that baffle me, I don't want to offend anyone, and I really like Scottish people.
Here we go.
Why are they always so angry?
Who?
Scottish people.
Come on, let's not start picking fights.
No, I like them. They're lovely people. And I want Murray to win. I like Djokovic as well, but I want Murray to win because he's never won Wimbledon, so... But they always are sort of cruising for a fight, aren't they?
There's an element in Scotland that is negatively disposed towards the English. I wouldn't care to put a percentage figure on it, but it is a significant number. In England, however, the overriding sense is that we just don't care, which I would imagine infuriates them.
Which probably annoys them even more, but they can't hate us that much. They send all their politicians down to Parliament. So.
Boy, do they ever, yeah. And their football managers.
Exactly. Things that baffle me.
That actually baffles me. The preponderance of Scottish football managers in the Premier League. Why are there so many Scottish managers in the Premier League? They outnumber any other nation, including England, don't they? I mean, they must do.
Maybe because I think the two main teams in Scotland are Rangers and Celtic, aren't they? And you don't want to get involved in... that's an all-out civil war, those two teams, aren't they?
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with them managing English teams. It just seems weird that they are so over-represented, don't you find?
No, maybe that's why they come down here, though, so they don't have to get involved in the politics of those
internecine warfare, yeah.
Exactly. Things that baffle me, one of the things is how the country with the oldest constitution in the world, with a Bill of Rights, is probably one of the most tyrannical regimes in the world. They're encouraging other people and, countries in that Asian world, the Muslim world, African nations to rise up against tyrannical regimes and protest. You see pictures of women with ink on their hands and, the first sign of any kind of resistance by their subjects, they're thrown into jail. I just don't understand it.
You're talking about America?
How did you guess?
They do lock up more people as a percentage of the population than any country on earth.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's so sad, actually. It could have been such a great nation, and it's riding roughshod over all the freedoms and privileges that it created.
It's an odd nation, America. It's so vast, and the spaces between people are so huge that it quite often, if you travel from coast to coast, it doesn't appear as one nation at all. It appears as a, much more so than the village sort of experience of Britain. It appears as though it's a series of separate communities with their own distinct personalities and mores. I mean, I suppose that it's a confection of states, but it's I'm not sure how united they actually are.
Probably not so much. They had a civil war 200 years ago, didn't they? So actually, I have a really good friend from Michigan, and even she's American, and she hates America.
Well, there's much to hate about America, but there's also much to support and hold dear, like any country, really.
Yeah, and I'm not anti-American, definitely not. But the other things that perplex me are why people decide to have children and then do every single thing in their power to offload them onto other people. You know, when school holidays start, oh, no, what am I going to do with the children for 6 weeks? You know, as soon as they come out of school, they're carted off to this class and that class and the other class. They're, fobbed off to nannies. And
well, some people fob them off to a school entirely, don't they? Some of them go to boarding school, which seems like a cruel and unusual punishment.
Please note, parents, take responsibility.
Yeah, if you're going to have a child, it's not just for Christmas.
Exactly. Yeah. And the other thing, a couple of other things. Hospitals, doctors take the Hippocratic Oath.
Mm-hmm. Hippocratical Oath, yeah.
They're trying everything in their power, they're supposed to protect our life and prolong our health. And, then you have cases of, do not resuscitate and withdrawing food and, giving us appointments in 3 weeks' time and by which time we'll be dead. And
yeah, a man comes in to read the electricity meter and they accidentally cut his legs off. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Exactly. And then the other thing, the food issue, which is one of the most worrying things. It's supposed to sustain us. We have to live. We have to eat. And that's probably what will kill us, or harm our health. You've got...
Well, do you hear the latest thing? Yeah, that skim milk is the thing that's making you fat. Did you hear that?
No.
You should actually be drinking full-fat milk because it's because of its slimming qualities. I mean, everything you know about food is wrong.
Exactly. I've got news for you, Nick, because wasn't there a story in the news about TB being present in milk and meat? Well, I'm a vegetarian anyway, but milk and meat.
Well, speaking of somebody who's going to have a barbecue this weekend, I don't wish to know that, Sophie. I'll char it. That'll work. In fact, that'll be the thing that if the meat doesn't kill you, then the charring on the outside will. Thanks for the bad news, Sophie. 0845 6060 973. She was going to say something else, but we'll never know. We'll have to go through the rest of our lives never knowing what she was about to say. Isn't that sad?
No.
Not really, no. 0845 6060 973. Things that baffle you. How are they able to get away with it? This is what baffles me. Almost 150 MPs have been given permission to claim expenses on behalf of their children. The parliamentary regulator has disclosed that almost 150 MPs have been given permission to claim expenses on behalf of their children. Now, these aren't children that are working for them in like their offices. It's not in an administrative capacity. This is just children. The Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority, IPSA, has given the MPs special dispensation to claim higher expenses to rent bigger properties and to pay for their children's travel. The rules were relaxed in 2011 following lobbying from MPs who can now claim thousands of pounds extra for each child they register with the expenses regulator. What's the point of having an independent parliamentary standards authority if it just does whatever the MPs want it to? At least 9 government ministers have registered to benefit. At least 9 government ministers have registered to benefit. And a cabinet minister, like I said before, is on a basic salary, not including expenses and benefits, of 145 grand a year. Not enough, apparently. So, which kind of puts to what Francis Maud was saying, that their salary has been capped. It will be at the present rate for the rest of Parliament. Well, not if they've got kids on expenses, it won't be. Some MPs have made more than £10,000 on the scheme. Such a perk would not be available in the private sector. The proposal to offer politicians a £10,000 pay rise has been condemned by party leaders, but not too loudly. And this pay recommendation will also cast renewed scrutiny on the wider package of MPs' perks, including their expenses and generous final salary pension scheme. Many MPs insist that the necessity to have two bases means that they must be compensated for costs associated with their children. Yet MPs have removed child support for families earning similar amounts. You know, last year the Coalition stopped child benefit for families with a parent earning more than 60 grand. But an MP's basic wage is 66 grand. So we're not all in this together. I'm so emotional I can barely speak. 148 MPs with 300 children between them have formally registered their dependents so they can claim expenses associated with their accommodation and travel. They're getting expenses for their children. Members of the government, including, guess who? George Osborne, have claimed. And so's Danny Alexander and Maria Miller. As are senior Labour figures, including Ed Miliband, Ed Balls and Yvette Cooper. Sounds like they're all at it. Since 2010, MPs have claimed about 140 grand for their children's travel. IPSA allows MPs to increase the maximum allowance they can claim by £2,425 for each child they say routinely resides with them. That's what that. You want to know how much a child is worth? £2,425. If you got 4, that's 10 grand a year. Since 2010, MPs have claimed more than £160,000 above the cap for accommodation. Do we just think about that for a second? Analysis of expense claims show that more than 90 MPs have been allowed to claim more than the cap for second homes of up to 20 grand annually. So IPSA says, right, that's it. There's a cap on how much you can claim for your second home. You will be allowed to claim for no more than £20,000 a year for your second home. And MPs have said, can we have some more? And IPSA said, sure, why not? It's not a cap if you can get more than it. While most MPs are understood to have rented family properties, others appear to be renting flats, if you please, not child-friendly. This is what baffles me. How are they continuing to get away with it while pleading poverty at the same time? Baffling. What baffles you? 0845 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3.
LBC 90. Call 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Tweet at LBC 973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
Yeah? Here's a call in Chiswick. Charlie.
Yeah, hi, good morning, Nick.
Charlie.
First of all, I'd just like to say I love your show. It's absolutely brilliant, yeah?
Oh, thanks, Charlie.
I'm just glad it's not on 24/7, otherwise I'd never get any sleep.
Yeah, me either.
You'd either know. Nick, I just wanted to ask you, do you know who was the only person ever to enter the Houses of Parliament with true intentions?
Yeah, the Guy Fawkes.
You knew it already.
These are the jokes, folks. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Wasn't that good then, no?
Oh, is that it, Charlie? No, surely not.
That was it.
Oh, well, better luck next time. Thanks a lot, mate. 0845 6060 973. Messages. Hi, what baffles me is why some people think they're better than the rest of us when their position in life is purely imaginary. We are all human beings, says Phil. What baffles me is why some people think they're better than the rest of us when their position in life is purely imaginary. Yes.
Well, that's easy.
What does that mean?
Well, it means
he's imagining people.
No, no. It means that people are elevating. They elevate themselves in their head.
Right. Who the hell do they think they are?
Well, yes, I think that's what he's saying in a nutshell.
Are you calling him a nutshell?
No, I'm. Actually, you popped into my head. There was sort of a nutshell.
I am. What? Because of my
Your imbalance.
Oh, not my deep tan.
No, not your deep tan.
Well, there's no need to screw your face up like that.
Well, I'm screwing my face up to try and spot a deep tan.
Well, there isn't one. I don't tan. I go from like a sort of a Daz bluey white to bright screaming pink and nothing in between.
Is that something we've got to look forward to this week?
Yes, that's right.
Amazing.
Yeah. By about noon on Sunday,
excellent.
I will be covering my entire person in liniment.
Did you see one of those face keenies?
I'll be squirting it all over myself. What?
You can get a face keenie. I can buy you one.
A face keenie?
Have you not seen them in the papers? They're all.
I've never heard of such a thing.
They're all the rage in China.
I thought they were just in order that they could breathe more easily.
What do you mean?
Oh, poor baby. Have you got a cough?
I had a little bit of a cough then. Thank you. No, face keenie. They're wearing them on the beaches.
Why?
Because it's hot.
A face keenie?
It looks like a balaclava.
Oh, that's perfect beach weather.
And
but
they're jaunty colours that you know, they're kind of bright pink or bright blue. Like, oh, that looks nice.
What, to match your face? A face keenie.
Yeah, when you're talking to Peter...
Does it lift and separate?
Whilst you're talking to Peter, I'll get up a picture of a face keenie for you.
Well, is it close-fitting? Will it cradle my cheeks?
It might well do. It might well do, yeah.
0845 6060 973. 973. Is that right? 0845
yes.
6060 973.
97.3, yeah.
I got that, yeah. Hey, that's coincidence. I wonder if anybody's thought of that. Hey, we got that phone number, ends in our FM frequency.
Which came first? There you go, face keenie.
That's the silliest thing I've ever seen. Is that Justin Bieber? That's the silliest thing I've ever seen.
And the armbands as well, look.
What are they doing?
They've got a face keenie on.
Where's that?
That's in China, like I told you.
Oh, that's
would I lie to you?
Nuts. I mean, seriously, if you need to wear a balaclava in order to protect yourself from the sun, just stay inside. Face keenie. Now I've heard it all. Here's call in Berkeley Square. Hello, Peter.
Hello, Nick. How you doing,
Good,
mate?
thanks.
You do make me laugh. Absolutely. I'm baffled by this face keenie. What is going on? A balaclava for the sunshine?
Yeah, just don't go out in the sunshine.
It's as bad as people walking down the street with sun's out, they've got umbrellas up. It's like, what are you doing? It's not raining.
People, where have you seen that?
Oh, lots of people in town. Lots of Oriental ladies walking around with umbrellas up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Yeah, listen, the lady that called up from Scotland who was having a go at us Brits about we can't stand a Scotsman being in the final and he's going to win it.
Now, you just made a big mistake there, Peter. She wasn't having a go at Brits. See, the English do tend to think that England is Britain, but it ain't.
Right, sorry,
anyway,
mate.
carry on.
It's the English she was having a go at, yeah. And the bottom line is, he will be a Scottish tennis player on Sunday because he's got no chance of beating Novak Djokovic. And if people want to Google or other search engines are available, Novak Djokovic doing impressions, it is the funniest thing you've ever seen. This guy has got not only class and he's number one, he's got charisma, personality, and he hasn't had a charisma pass like Andy Murray.
He doesn't sound like a tennis player. I don't even know what he looks like. Novak Djokovic. Would I be able to pick him out of a lineup?
Possibly. He's a very harsh-looking Serbian man, but he's a fantastic athlete, a great tennis player, and he will wipe the floor with Murray on Sunday. And Nick, the point I wanted to make was, it's got nothing to do with being a Scotsman. The point is, I didn't like Tim Henman. Everyone says, oh, you've got to support Tiger Tim. These people, you wouldn't want to go and have a beer with them in the pub, would you? Tim Henman and Andy Murray, for God's sake.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what was wrong with Tim Henman other than that he seemed a bit ineffectual and bland and just a bit too nice?
Well, there you go. And not Tim nice but dim. But, the bottom line is he was a bit too posh for my liking, was number one. And people telling me, you've got to support him because he's a Brit. I was like, no, I don't think so. I want the other guy to win every time. And the same with Murray. Look, the guy gets paid fortunes. He's a multi-millionaire. Can you not put a little bit of a smile and a bit of spark into the way you speak, young fella?
Well, he seems, don't you? Well, yes, he's a perfect reflection of what I think the sport has become, and it's almost like robots are playing it, and he sounds very robotic. Yeah.
Well, but look, no, when you hear other people interviewed after the games, Nick, they've got far more charisma and personality. He's just dour and down and, oh, my God, wind him up, get a bit of a spark, kick him up the backside, do something with this fella.
Novak Djokovic. Can you get us a picture on the worldwide weight of Novak Djokovic, whoever that is? And I'll just for my own purposes, I'll see if I've ever if I recognise him. So you're predicting a loss for the home team on Sunday, eh?
Without a doubt.
Right.
Without a doubt. 3 sets to love. Novak Djokovic will wipe the floor with him.
Okay, and there goes with that brief, worrying description. There goes the hopes of the nation. All right, thanks a lot, Peter. Yeah, he's that right. He's the guy with a really long face. Hey, Novak, why the long face? He could be. He could be a member of the royal family. Why the royal face, Novak? How long is that face, by the way? I mean, that's do human beings come in that dimension? I mean, from his nose, approximately how big would you say that nose is?
We're looking at 10 inches.
Huge. So it's going to be all over by the time my sausages are charred. Oh well, I'll see what the score was on the news. Streatham, hello, Maureen.
Hello,
Maureen.
Yes, I'd like to speak to the lady that was on before who said she didn't understand about the Scottish and English, what the problem was. I'd like to suggest one she looks up her history book, and then she'll find out why.
Oh, come on, Maureen. Really? You're living hundreds of years ago? What happened in ancient history is still affecting your daily mood?
1745, no, but there was also Margaret Thatcher that put in a community charge before England to test it out. Anyway, that's not why I phoned to speak to you.
Okay.
I phoned to speak to you about the MPs, and I think they should get £100,000.
Go on.
100,000.
Yeah.
Because then you can cut off all their benefits, you can cut off all their children's stuff, everything else, and just put them up in flats, in a high-rise flat in Bermondsey or in the Elephant Castle, and then they can walk to work. How much is that going to save?
Well...
and also these high-rise flats, because they're living with everybody else, normal people, there'll be enough bedrooms to accommodate the children.
Well, I don't think they would be inviting their children, because if all the MPs are living, all hugger-mugger in the same block of high-rise flats, I think the orgiastic shenanigans that would go on in that blighted tower would not be something that you or I would want to watch. We shouldn't even be discussing it in polite company.
No, we shouldn't be. But if they're getting paid for second homes, for the kids, for transport, everything else, just put them up where everybody else lives.
But you see what we're saying? And this is not a unique thought, Maureen. It's not even the first time that somebody's mentioning it on this show. What we're saying is, rather than them steal the money from us, we should give it to them.
No, give it to them, and that's it. And they can live along with the rest of us and see how difficult it is.
But it wouldn't be very difficult at all if they were earning £100,000 a year. That doesn't sound difficult to me. That sounds...
You'd have to stay in a tower block in the
relatively
Elephant
easy.
Castle.
Well, the Elephant Castle is on the way up. It's up and coming, Maureen.
Well, put them into Bermondsey, these high-rise flats that's got 22 stories, So the lift doesn't work, so you can't go to work.
Have we got any advance on Bermondsey? Woolwich. How about Woolwich? Let's send him to Woolwich.
No, that's too nice. That's too nice.
Okay, I've got my trump card, Slough. There you go. Beat that.
But then they'd have to get transport.
Well, they could travel on the tube or the Crossrail.
Well, they can't get the tube from Bermondsey, from Slough.
Well, then, how about a solid gold horse-drawn carriage, Maureen?
Exactly.
I'm completely out of ideas.
That's exactly what they want. To put them in a high-rise flat, mix with everybody else. All they have to do in the Elephant and Castle is walk across the water. Don't you think that's a good idea?
Well, the walking across the water part, yeah, let's... it might not be 100% successful, but at least we should give it a go. All right, thanks a lot, Maureen. Keep thinking, 0845 6060 973. I mean, the amount of times that suggestion has been made to me as though that is the answer to all of our problems. Instead of them stealing the money from us, we should just give it to them. Well, what kind of an outrageous thing is that to say? In fact, IPSA actually said pretty much the same thing. They said that Parliament will be embroiled in another expenses scandal unless MPs are given an above-inflation pay rise. So, in other words, if we don't give them the money, they will be forced to steal it from us. I mean, that's just absolutely staggering, isn't it? That baffles me, how anybody in public life could say that with a straight face, as though that is an intelligent and worthwhile thing to say. We have to pay somebody, I mean, that's, like, I'm stunned, aren't you? Is it just me? 0845 6060 973. We're talking about bafflement. Things that baffle you. Please. This is Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3. The time, 12:30.
This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
Yeah, and Zora Suleiman, our excellent newsreader, mentioned the walkie-talkie, you know, the new skyscraper that is that has invigorated London's otherwise dull and boring skyline. Well, there's another one. There's an even better one that's about to be revivified. You know, the Helter Skelter? It's actually called the Pinnacle, but it's been termed the Helter Skelter because we have to give, like, infantile baby names to all of our tall buildings now, apparently. Except for St. Paul's. Now, just think of the shape of the St. Paul's dome. Now, what babyish infantile name should be given to that? I can think of one. Plans for the Pinnacle in the Square Mile unveiled in 2006 with great fanfare and a twisting design that was dubbed the Helter Skelter are back on track. 7 years later, it can be seen as a 7-storey stump, but that could be about to change. The consortium behind the Pinnacle have hired a property advisor to help it find an equity partner to fund and restart the scheme. Hooray! Because it looks great. Well, most buildings do look great with a computer-generated image, but it seems to sit in the horizon really well. And from certain angles, you wouldn't be able to see the stumpy the bullet-shaped thing behind it. What do you call it? The gherkin. Gherkin. Of all the things that are shaped like the gherkin, that we picked the gherkin. I mean, that's a food item that most people go through their entire lives without either eating or buying, and we selected the gherkin. Could you think of something else that's in that shape, Amanda, that we could have called it?
A pine cone.
The consortium behind the Pinnacle, or the Helter Skelter as it's been termed, consists of Arab investments, the Saudi Arabian Wealth Fund, and a US investor. Oh, well, never mind. Not British, but then nothing in London is. But that'll be good when it's finished. London's dramatically changing skyline. It's almost as though London is being reinvented. You look around... You go away for the weekend, you come back, and it's changed. There's another building. Where did that come from? Here's a call in Ripley. Hello, Tanya.
Hi, Nick.
Tanya.
Hello. Actually, I thought of a name for the gherkin. It could be called a bullet, couldn't it? Because it's sort of bullet-shaped.
It's kind of bullet-shaped, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, talking about being baffled, hubby and I were in the theatre in central London, a very small theatre on Wednesday night in Soho.
Which one?
The Soho Theatre.
The what?
Soho Theatre.
Oh, the Soho Theatre, right. Yeah.
It's a little one. It does all sorts of things. It does plays and it does comedy and all kinds of sorts of...
I think I've seen something there. It has rudimentary sort of bench-like seating. Is that right?
Yes. No, it wasn't too bad. It's got a sort of bar in front. It's got several theatres in it, so you might have been in a different one.
Right.
Anyway, we were watching. It was the play was only an hour long, and it was quite an emotional play. Only 2 people in it, and there were lots of quiet moments. And every so often, people were switching on their iPhones.
What?
And you've got these kind of squares of light beaming out in this dark auditorium. I'm totally baffled as to why anybody would want to go to the theatre and be so worried in case an email came through or somebody was phoning them and they had to keep switching them on.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It's totally bizarre.
Well, did you correct them, Tanya?
Well, somebody... there was a guy sitting next to me who switched his on, and actually, if he hadn't got a broken leg in plaster, I'd have probably thumped him. I mean, it was kind of shining up at your face.
That's absolutely inexcusable.
It is, isn't it?
What's wrong with people?
I don't know. I don't know why go... I think it's because people go to the theatre, they go to the cinema, and they forget they're actually out. They think they're in their own front rooms. And they behave exactly the same there as they would in their own home.
Yeah, you're right. And to be correct, if they are corrected, then they react as though they are like 5 years old and they have been disciplined for the very first time. And they just can't believe that you would have the nerve to tell them that what they're doing is not right.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's quite extraordinary. It's the same as going to the cinema when people get up and walk around and talk to each other.
Well, that is inexcusable as well, but at least in the cinema, the actors on screen can't be put off.
No, that's right. It was quite an emotional play. There were lots of silences in it as well. And it was almost as if people were sort of bored with the silences and thought they better just check in case somebody had sent them an email. It was most odd.
Well, that's just... I've seen all sorts of behaviour in the theatre, like people just talking all the way through, just chatting away. Why anybody would want to spend money to go to the theatre and then just talk to each other is mystifying. And you see that at the cinema all the time.
Yeah.
And you see people get up to leave, 5 minutes before the interval. Yeah. They will get up to go to the loo or go and buy some popcorn or fizzy drinks or whatever it might be. Just literally 5 minutes before the interval, they just can't contain themselves anymore. Or rather, they're hungry at that moment. Yeah. And so they want immediate satiation. And so they just, they follow their stomach. But all kinds of behaviour, and I think you've got it right. People are going out. It's almost as though they're blithely unaware that you act in a certain way dependent on your surroundings and your circumstance. You don't always just act like you're sitting at home.
No, that's right. But anyway, so that's one of my gripes. Anyway, there are lots of weird things that baffle me. Can I just tell you one more thing that baffles me? Where did the expression "he was sat" instead of sitting, where did this come up? And I may tell you that people on all my favourite people on LBC are doing this as well, saying sat instead of sitting. And I'm totally baffled as to where that came from. Because the other word that came up was basically, everything's basically now.
Yeah. Well, that's...
basically, he was sat somewhere. It's a complete and utter nightmare.
Well, I think when people say basically, it's like saying and It's just it's something to say while you get your mind around what you're about to say next.
Yeah. But where the word sat came from, I have no idea.
The cat was sat.
The cat was sat on the mat.
Oh. Is that not correct?
What?
That's not correct, is it?
Of course it's not correct.
How about it, the cat was sat sitting on the mat? I'll assume that's wrong too.
I would think that's probably wrong too.
I need to get myself a dictionary or a lesson in Grammar, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Tanya.
Okay, mate.
I'll add it to the list of things what I don't know. Here's a call in Manchester. Hello, Graham.
Good evening, sir.
Graham.
A couple of things that baffle me. How did we end up with a guy who's as Chancellor at Chequer who was not the foggiest idea of what economics actually are about?
I don't think that anybody has any idea what economics is about. If economists knew what they were talking about, then at least some of them would agree with each other.
But they don't appear to. But he's not an economist. That's the point.
Well, we're being run by amateurs. There's no person, to my knowledge, who is running any department of government who has got any experience of what it is that they're doing.
Wasn't his only job to be folding napkins in a restaurant in Fortnum's or something? Isn't that the only thing he's actually done apart from
folding napkins in Fortnum's?
Something like that.
They're very particular, though, Graham.
Yeah, well, they are, yes. I presume he got them right. Were they pointing the right way?
Yeah. In the shape of, probably in the shape of a swan.
I was just going to say that, rather like they do in Egypt.
Yeah.
Although we shouldn't really be talking about Egypt in that manner, should we, tonight?
Well, let's just pass it over and pretend you didn't say anything.
Nobody's listening anyway. The other thing that baffles me is how is it that Ian Duncan Smith decides to still be a politician?
How is it that somebody like his parents named him Ian Duncan Smith, IDS, which is very close to being like a problem of an excess of hot gas?
Yeah, but I mean, when you consider that the farms that he owns got subsidies of over £1 million from the EU last year, why is he still a politician?
What, you mean he could afford not to be? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, sorry?
You mean he could afford not to be?
Well, he could afford not to be. Yeah, if he could afford not to be making a total hash of the welfare system, couldn't he? Whilst telling people who were carers that they can't have the full housing benefit, whilst at the same time collecting over £1 million in subsidies from the EU. How does that work out?
Very well, apparently. No problem at all.
How did they get away with it?
Well,
is it because they make the rules, is it?
Public inaction is how they get away with it.
Right. So
keep drumming up support to Graham, and one day, come the revolution, etc. and so on. But at least we have, working on our behalf, our chief invigilator, to keep our elected representatives on the straight and narrow. The House of Commons Speaker John Bercow. At least we have him. He's charged nearly £100,000 for taxi rides and trips around the world. The money paid for visits to nearly 20 countries, as well as trips to have his portrait painted and a short journey to tour the offices of the MP's expenses watchdog. Did you get that? He claimed expenses to tour the office of the expenses watchdog. I think that tells us everything we need to know about the new expenses regime at Westminster. Details of the Speaker's travel costs since the general election in May 2010 include flights for him and an aide costing £63,000, as well as 16 grand worth of journeys in his chauffeur-driven car, if you please, and £6,200 was charged for train travel. Countries visited included India, the US, South Africa, Finland, Denmark, Germany, Lithuania, Austria, Hungary, Greece and Romania. The visits were made at the invitation of the Speaker in foreign parliaments, but the UK taxpayer picked up the bill. And what a lovely club to belong to, by the way. I'll invite you and you can invite me, and we'll all be on a jolly holiday. Till they run out of foreign parliamentary speakers and they can just start at the beginning again. I mean, did you get that? A parliamentary speaker in South Africa, for instance, or Finland, or Denmark, or Germany, Lithuania, Austria, Hungary, Greece, Romania, India, and the US, any of these places, the speaker will say, why don't you come over here on a fact-finding mission, see how we speak? And then you can invite me. Mr. Burkow's journey in his official car included trips to lectures, dinners, speeches, book launches, and a visit to a nursery. What? A nursery. Mr. Burkow took his car on an £84 visit to the offices of the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority. That might not sound like much, £84, but the offices of the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority are 1 mile from his offices in Westminster. Price to take a car for 1 mile? £84. I bet those pedalos don't charge that much. What are they called? Those rickshaw people. In June and September 2011, Mr. Burkow took the car to have his official portrait painted, costing the taxpayer more than £100. He charged for the near £800 cost of coming back from Devon in August 2011 for debates about the English riots, and he billed the taxpayer the £34 cost of being driven home from the wedding reception of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. In January this year, Mr. Burkow took a £23 taxi to a premiere of the House of Cards remake starring Hollywood actors Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright. On a £9,600 flight back from Cape Town in August 2012, Mr. Burkow and a colleague had their business class seats upgraded to first. A House of Commons spokesman said, "Don't question us, peasant." I made that up. A House of Commons spokesman said, "It's an important duty of the Speaker of the House of Commons to represent Parliament abroad and foster good relations with fellow speakers and parliamentarians." No, it's not. He said the trips abroad are following invitations from other parliaments and to attend international parliamentary conferences. Conferences. Well, they got classes to help you say order, do they? The vast majority of travel is economy class, said a House of Commons spokesman, except for long-haul flights, and where other classes may be best value for money or match timing requirements. They just are making this stuff up off the top of their head, aren't they? Let's assume that timing requirements always necessitate turning left on entering a plane. You know, for timing requirements. Lady with a hand in the air?
I'd just be interested to know how many of these trips Betty Boothroyd took.
Why?
Well, it just as a comparison, so then we can find out if it really is a necessary part of the job.
How could it possibly be necessary
of course
to visit speakers of other parliaments?
Well, this is why I'm wondering if this is something that's unique to him, or if it...
Or a woman could do a better job. Is that what you were going to say?
It's got nothing to do with the gender.
I bet a woman could have done a better job.
Well, of course they could. That goes without saying. But whether man or woman, whether it's just John Burkow that's taking all these trips, or whether...
That cow.
It's all of them.
Burkow, yes.
All of them.
All of them. Let's assume they're all at it, helping us by taking these trips.
Who's the colleague? Was it the same colleague, or is it various colleagues?
Do I look like a fount of information to you?
Yes. No. No, you don't.
I don't know.
Does Sally go on any of the trips?
Sally? Silly Sally Bearcow? I've got no idea.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Let's hope if she does, she zips it.
Or she pays for herself?
Well, that would be nice. Yeah, that would be a novel thought.
Do you think that she sits in cattle class and he sits in...
cattle class.
Do you think she turns right and he turns left?
No.
I'd love it if that was the case, though.
Unless you're talking about a marital thing.
I'm not even...
Was that a euphemism for a marital thing?
I don't think any of us need to have that in our heads right now.
In line with the House's commitment to greater transparency, these costs are now published on a quarterly basis, a House of Commons spokesman said. Greater transparency. And you know what? They're publishing them because they know that we won't do anything about it, and that we couldn't do anything about it even if we wanted to do something about it. That is why they're publishing them. This is one of the many things that baffle me. Wilston Segan, is that your name?
Yes, it is. Hello,
Segan,
Nick.
how you going?
I'm doing all right.
Me too.
I've been listening to the program so far, and I think it cuts me because I think it's just really unfair. I mean, every day on the news, I keep hearing there are going to be cuts here, cuts there, and there's always there's no money, government has to keep cutting. So how come all of a sudden some people get to have a better deal and everybody else gets the shaft?
How come they appear to be saying that we don't have any money?
Money, yes, exactly. And then all of a sudden...
Unless we're talking about us, they are saying.
And I'm like, wait, what happens? Is it like people just going to keep calling the radio stations and complaining? Is that where it's going to end?
Yes.
Wow.
Until there's something else to moan about. I mean, we'll talk about this for a little while. I mean, we're, probably until the weekend, and then it'll be Murray Mania, or we'll be banging on about the weather, or the lack of sausages on the supermarket shelves because everyone's having a barbecue. Yeah, there'll be something else.
It's sickening. It's ridiculous. It's like during the crisis, I think in the United States, during the meltdown, and then some companies got bailed out, and the first thing they did with the bailout money was to pay themselves
bonuses.
And bonuses. That's exactly what I'm seeing here.
Right.
I mean, the army got shrunk. That to me, that's it. I think they laid off some people in the army, right?
They laid off some people in the army, yes.
Just because there's no money.
Correct.
Now, all of a sudden, there is money. How do you explain this?
You don't have to explain it. You don't have to explain it to a public that aren't interested.
Wow, that's really sad. That's really sad because I don't know how to... It's like I'm living in the Matrix or something.
Yeah, and I know exactly what you mean. It's like we've walked through the looking glass and everything just seems... It's kind of the same, but just a little bit odd. Yeah, you keep hearing things that you think, no, that can't be right.
Exactly. I'm like, maybe George Orwell is just like the all-wise, because he just said it. Yeah. All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others.
Yeah.
There is no other way to put it. I mean, that's just on point.
Right. And keep your eyes on the dogs, because they're more equal than most. Thanks a lot, Segan. 0845 6060 973. See, he's not angry, he's just disappointed. Hey, you know what? I've got a really good feeling about the millionaire thing, because I'll tell you what I'll do. I've got a system now. The millionaire win £1 million. The win £1 million game.
Okay.
I've got a system now.
And your system is?
Well, it's genius. You can congratulate me on my perspicacity.
Right. Okay. Well,
you can do that now or later. It's your choice.
No, I'm going to do that much later.
Much later. Right. When I fill it out, I press the lucky button. Press this lucky button.
That's worked out so well for you.
No. Not a lucky button.
No.
It's not a lucky button. It should be called not a lucky button. And so what I did was, and this is my genius, and this is why I've got a very good feeling about this one, is that I cancelled the first suggestion. Because I pressed the lucky button, and then it fills the thing in for you. And then I cancelled it, because I knew that that's what they wanted me to fill in. And so I cancelled it, and then pressed it again. Ha-ha! So charade you are.
Press the same button twice.
Yes.
Okay, genius.
Exactly.
And is this the draw for tonight or for tomorrow?
No, it's tonight.
Shall we find out if you're a genius, then?
Well, that's a given.
Well, we'll see about that. You might want to talk to somebody briefly while I do this.
Let's have Camden. Hello, Claire.
Hi, Nick.
Claire.
Yeah, I wanted to ask why, what is baffling me is, why am I still so honest? When people are lying all the time, people who have money and I don't have, and I'm still honest.
Are you lying about that?
No, I'm saying the truth.
You've never been dishonest in your life. That sounds like a yes. That sounds like a yes to me.
Maybe to myself, yeah, but not to other people.
Right. So if somebody gave you too much change from the till of a faceless, evil corporation, you wouldn't think, oh, well, why not? I'll just take that.
But those faceless evil, they have machines which count the change for them, so...
Yeah, they're called staff. They're not machines, Claire. They're real people. Human beings like you and me.
But they press buttons on machines.
Well, the machine might tell them how much the change is, but then they have to actually count the change. I mean, there's certain things that you can do to help them along. I mean, obviously nobody can do mental arithmetic anymore, and so you have to punch it in a machine, and the machine tells you how much change you're supposed to give them, but then they have to count the actual money. And sometimes they make a mistake, Claire.
Do you mean that they can't count?
Well, then, yes. Now, they might be able to count if they did mental arithmetic on a regular basis, because it's like any other skill. You know, you get better at it the more you do it. But I think there's part of the infantilization of society is you know, when you buy 2 pints or even 1 pint, and you offer a £5, and this is something that they will have done over and over and over again, so they know precisely how much it costs. Say it's £4.60. They have to go to the till, and the till deducts £4.60 from £5 to tell them how much the change is. But anyway, we're getting off track, Claire, and I'm afraid that we've run out of time. We only have time for me to win £22 million. And the first winning number is on my new scheme in order to circumvent the...
Which is you pressing the same button twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Well, let's see if it makes any sense.
Well, I think that it's a genius move on my part.
Yeah, you've said.
First number, 18.
No, it's
Hooray!
not.
What? 22?
Absolutely not.
31?
No.
43?
No.
And 49.
Give up.
Damn it! None of them?
You got not one.
Not one single one.
Genius.
Still, I do like that game.
I hate it!
It's the Christo Show. He's back.
Good morning. Have you missed me?
Have you been away?
Have you missed me?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, okay. That was a very convincing answer. Coming up from 1 o'clock, we're going to be talking about... Well,
oh, sorry.
Yeah, wrong one.
Yeah, I faded me down.
Yes.
And then faded you down by mistake.
Yeah, why don't you keep me up and fade yourself down?
Well, no, I think I actually had it right the first time.
Okay. I'll shut up now then.
Hooray!
On FM, online and digital radio.